everyone. Welcome to the Summit Esports Premier League for Season 3. I am your hostess, Glovely, joined once again by Connor here to call all of the action in Elend's Entourage versus Gawr's kindergarten class.
Hey guys, this is going to be an exciting match. Up at the top lane, rolling with Brissy versus Injustice. The junglers, we got Solpan and Heiko. And in mid lane, Gargoomba versus Flash of Night. Array in the bot lane versus Neversaw. And Saucy Chas versus Usurper on the support.
As folks are already seeing at home, you can see that we have already entered into the draft phase. Akali and Azir are going to be taken off the table, followed by Bread and Nocturne. A lot of engage taken away there. Poppy going to be the top lane pick taken away. Good call. That champion's seen a lot of success in the league and prevents a lot of the mobility that champions seem to like to pull out here. Getting a lot of that mobility creep into the game. One more ban going to be coming in here for the side of GKC. What are we going to see here?
So I think some of these picks are a little targeted too. I know that Brissy is on the Gawr's kindergarten class. He's rolling with a Poppy main that goes pretty tough. Oh, we got the Karma pick right off the bat. Karma is so strong this meta. Her shields are so insane in the team fight. I used to be a Karma player back in the early seasons, and she was a lot stronger solo fighting, but now with all the new items, the shields are crazy. I can't remember if she was recently nerfed or not, but with her power still being a huge threat next patch. So yeah, she's a massive threat right now.
On the other side, we see Lucian Nami picked up. That's some fantastic synergy there, especially after those changes way back. I want to say it was the middle of last season, buffing Lucian's Lightslinger to deal additional damage whenever he gets a buff or a heal or something like that. Caitlyn is going to be picked up on the other side for the AD carry position. Karma does have the ability to be a flex pick. Lux is going to be a hover here. Would be an interesting choice. Does pair very well with the Caitlyn. You do still have options to counter. They are going to lock in the Lux, so I think that's probably going to be a Lux in the support role there. Those bindings team up very well with the Caitlyn traps for a ton of damage. Really hard to get away from that. So Karma does still have some flexibility here. Could go top, could go mid. Honestly, I wouldn't put Karma jungle past anyone. And Vladimir.
If we would be blessed with the Karma jungle, I would be so grateful. That would be my favorite thing to be coming out with casting my first game with Karma jungle. We'd be getting hype.
I mean, I've seen brand jungle in the LCS, so we could expect some weirdness, but we do have here. The Vladimir is going to be the pickup there. Does still have the ability to flex. They can take that top. They can take that mid. Maokai going to be banned away. Probably a good choice. Very sturdy tank champion, especially in that jungle or top lane position. Shen also going to be taken away. A lot of top laners here getting banned out this game. More bans left on the field here. What do we expect to see here? Last two bans.
I'm not so sure what Gawr kindergarten classes think for the ban here. Looks like they're taking away the Belveth.
That's interesting.
And then immediately, Talia was just immediately picked. They were just spam clicking that one.
Definitely. I'm a little surprised to see the Belveth get taken off. We've only seen one game of it being played here in the league, and it lost. So unless they are expecting like some sort of late game hyper carry to be an issue, I'm not sure why they would block that one off. Orin going to be the pickup. That is a Summit Esports League favorite, that top laner.
Oh, yeah, and I know Brissy is very familiar with that champion. They couldn't quite ban out the boy himself, the Solo Bolo King, I believe is his title for this season. He's still got quite a bag, but there's a duelist top lane. So I do know Brissy is more of a support-esque top laner where he plays a little bit more tanky champions. You can see they banned the Poppy and the Shen, a little bit more utility, a little bit more damage on Poppy's side. And Ornn, I know, has that hidden little bit of damage, but for the most part is more of a tank, more of a shield for the rest of the enemy team. And Fiora is going to be a huge carry potential for top lane there. Injustice is going to be picking out that. And then I think that's gonna seal the jungle as Xin Zhao, unless we just get surprised and we see Karma jungle Xin mid. But I'm positive that's gonna be Karma mid lane and Xin in the jungle.
I mean, it's possible, but yeah, I think most likely Karma going to go into the mid. Viego going to be the last hover here. They do end up getting that hyper carry in the jungle, even if it wasn't the Bel'Veth. Viego is still a champion that can be very feast or famine here. Now we do have the two teams locked into position here. So what are you favoring when you look at these teams? What kind of team compositions are poking out to you?
So I'm noticing this is going to be a huge battle of the jungler game right here. We got Viego versus Xin Zhao. Now Xin Zhao can be a little bit more versatile with his build path, but he is a huge fighter and especially good at soloing certain characters in team fights. And if he and Fiora can knock out a single target and peel away the rest of the crew, peel away the Nami, peel away the Ornn, if they're lucky enough to hit the Vladimir, they might be able to pick away the Lucian. But if not, then we're looking at some little bit of a long range hybrid for the Lux and Caitlyn in the bot lane. Like that's a really well known comp, and they're very good at catching out and staying safe. But we have kind of a little bit of an engage as well with the Karma Shield, and Fiora and Xin are definitely going to be just running it down, going straight for the back line in the enemy team.
The one thing I'm a little worried about is the fact that ENT doesn't really have much of a front line. Even Fiora and Jhin aren't exactly tanky champions. So we'll see if they are able to create space, if they're able to find these team fights. We're going to go ahead and pitch it over to a break. When we come back, we'll go ahead and get into game one. Hello, everyone. This is Joan, your lovely hostess and caster. Unfortunately, due to the Riot Spectator bug, we will have to wait for the game to be finished. We will then stream the replay file. We're still going to be casting it as live, so don't you worry. We'll be hanging around for a bit, and we will see you as soon as we have that file back. find their stride here. But regardless of whatever the reason, they are still standing here now in the finals together. So, what kind of we're looking at something like a matchup check here between these two teams. What kind of matchups are we expecting to see within these lanes?
I think that.
Well, oh,
Oh
go
yeah, you
ahead.
can go first, Rusty.
Okay. The big matchup I'm looking forward to is the mid lane, honestly, because I mean you got a guy like Nutra Azrael who came in as a rookie as well, and he's kind of just shown how much skill that guy has as far as being able to dominate his opponent and really carry what looked like throughout the season, carry his team to all of their victories that they had. Um, and then on the other side, you got I believe I'm Nikis. Is that correct?
That is
I got
correct.
that right? Okay. Yeah. They got Nikis, who I mean has been on the most dominant team in the league, and he definitely carries his fair share of weight through all their wins as well. So that's the matchup I'm looking forward to the most, and it's gonna be a fun ride seeing how these games go.
Yeah, I'm more interested in seeing our top lane matchup here between Asuna and Elodad. Uh, Obviously, Elodad is also a very prominent top laner in our league so far. Uh, from the numerous games that we've watched from him, he has taken over almost every single game, if not at least even. And that kind of lead that he's established has been shown to be very fruitful, especially since most of these games have been more towards Baron sided plays. So, having a top laner who is able to establish a lead early and stay dominant throughout the rest of the game has been proven very effective for Goofy Gophers. Now, with Asuna, you know, I don't know him personally too much. I'm sure other people in the chat can comment better on it, but Asuna is a very well-known Yone main, and as we've seen from all the games that he's been able to play on Bruisers, uh, he does extremely well in any condition that he's put in. Uh, some prominent cases have been, for instance, the matchup between him and Kanga, where games may seem a little back and forth between them, but if Asuna ever gets ahead, usually he's able to keep that lead for as long as he needs to help with the rest of his team. But he has shown that he's capable on tanks such as Malphite and Scion, but I feel like he'd be able to perform much better on these bruiser type champions or things that have the capability of making these outplays. So I think top lane is also going to be a really fun place to watch, and if it wasn't for Elo Dad's consistency with being able to keep a lead, I feel like uh, this may be one of the most fun top lane matchups we've had in the league this entire game.
I mean, I can tell you right away that I'm super excited to see all of these players out on the Rift, but my eyes, of course, tend to roam up to that top lane. I love me some bruisers. They've been pretty strong in the meta lately. Is this kind of the last chance for everybody to pull out all the stops in this current meta? Riot's already promised a preseason that's going to completely upend the state of the Rift. What kind of things do you think we'll be pulling out for our last hurrah? Any secrets you think these teams might be packing?
Uh, you know, I've known Neutral Azrael for a long time, and I've played League with him for years and years, and he can pretty much adapt to any scenario. So I have no doubt in my mind that he will pull out the most wild mid lane champ you could ever imagine, and again continue to carry this team to be victorious. I have no doubt that I'm Nickus is going to give him a run for his money. I know that both these guys are probably the top of their top tier as far as mid lane goes. So it's going to be really exciting to see how they each kind of battle it out as far as who's gonna out macro or out macro the other.
Yeah, I think it's definitely. I want to see on the side of Mystic Ninja Cyclones. I also want to see them and Lord Tubbyton on a more ADC and hyper carry support bot lane. As we've seen from most of the games, gets that juicy prize pool.
In a lot of the matchup against these other more aggressive bot lanes, but also puts Lord Tubbington on a comfort pick, which is huge for support.
This is a bit of an interesting one. Viego locked in. Have not seen a bunch of this champion in solo queue of late. Kind of a bit of an int pick in solo queue lately, but oh my god, an R3 Gangplank locked in here. And this is going to be really interesting because now they're giving double counter pick over, or they're giving the top lane counter pick over, but it's Elodad's Gangplank. It's the champion that you're supposed to ban in the first phase. And it's locked in here, R3. They're going to get 2 bans to support it, but throw one of those towards mid lane. Elodad's feeling confident on this pick, is what I'm reading off this draft.
You gotta be a little afraid. There is still the question of having a comfort pick in the Yone that's still available for Asuna. I do wonder if they maybe are worried about this being banned out completely, but you're right, Elodad on a Gangplank. You only kind of make this kind of mistake only once in the series against this team.
Kind of like across the board, really. It's you leave the one trick open. They pick it the very first game of the series. If it dumps on you, you immediately ban it the next game. If it doesn't, they might be too afraid to even pick it up in the coming series. So, bit of a gambit here in this game 1. 2 more bans thrown out towards mid lane. Actually, 4 more as it's the Kassadin and Aurelion Sol versus the Ahri and LeBlanc. So mid lane champion pool is getting pinched out here in this game.
I like it. I mean, not that these 2 players are completely without options. It is going to be really cool to see what they pull out here. I don't want it to be like Azir Corki. It doesn't really seem to be these 2 players' play styles. But we'll see. I mean, Zyra Ashe, that's been pulled out for the Goofy Gophers. Eldaho, also a pretty prominent piloter of the Zyra champion. And it's a pretty good pick. It helps mitigate, upfront engage. You have the appeal tool with your ulti, and then the E can set up picks really well with the rest of the team. Lissandra, though, going to be the pick here for the mid lane for MNC.
Yeah, so this is an LCS classic, the Lissandra Viego mid jungle duo. The goal just being get in there, drop the Lissandra R on someone, blow up that target, and get Viego that reset to carry the fight. Oftentimes you see it paired with another reset champion like a Jinx or something. I think they've opted instead for laning strength here in the Xayah, really wanting to try and get something done early here against Gamer Destroyer there in the bottom lane. Also an underrated thing about the Zyra pick, it's the Ornn being locked in here. There are a lot of picks available here there's some picks available into Lissandra, but I'm not sure. Nikus has such an interesting and wide champion pool that it's like hard to really say exactly what he's going to go for.
Yeah, there's a lot of options. I do think that with Maokai Zyra being in the draft, Ashe most likely going to end up building a little bit of that lethality, and Gangplank going to be so far the main AD source of damage. He kind of have options to flex either way, but Veigar going to be that kind of late game insurance policy. They saw the Ornn, said they want to go for late game. They answered with a late game answer of their own.
Yeah, the zoning potential here on Goofy Gophers is actually completely insane. You have to walk through Saplings, Ash Vision, Gangplank Barrels, Zyra, and a Veigar cage just to get on top of this team. Luckily, they have very good engage tools actually to deal with this. Ornn and Seraphine both have that super long range engage that they can just throw over the top of the fight. They don't actually need to be there, which is what the Veigar cage, the Ash Arrow, the Maokai Ultimate are going to be really strong at. They can sit at that longer range distance and try and get CC on these targets so that the Viego and Lissandra can actually dive in. Another point here, there's almost 0 dive locked in against Xayah, so her usual strength of being able to kite back into feathers is going to be somewhat nullified by the long range comp here locked in by Goofy Gophers.
Yeah, I was going to mention that because I was the pick here for them, it does kind of offer an extra jump off point in which they can peel for themselves, and then Lord Tubbington can use kind of this frontline presence with the Viego and the Ornn to maybe find a longer range ult. Extending that ult through his 2-stack frontliners could be the answer. It's still going to be a tough fight for them regardless, and they don't have like the mega long range poke tool. They don't have a Xerath here in the mid lane to help chip away.
Yeah, it really is just going to come down to their ability to dive on in. I will give Goofy Gophers this. They have the better dragon setup. Whenever you have Maokai, it is just so hard to actually walk down into the area and clear out the vision whenever you have first control. The question is, will they be actually able to take bot prio against Thimony here? They've locked in such a heavy pushing lane with Tubbington on the Seraphine that I feel like it'd be so hard for their bot lane on Ashe to actually shove out on the wave and then move on to the dragon. So them really looking at this bottom lane to be responsible for them getting first priority to Dragon, so they're not walking into a million saplings and Zyra plants.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough. I wonder, for the intents and purposes of Seraphine's passive, where she gets like the extra little bits or whatever, right? Does each little bit count as a 1 health counter for a plant?
I want to say
I don't think so.
no.
I don't think so. So I think she
Yeah.
just has regular application to ranged autos on plants, which is quite unfortunate. They don't really have a great way to deal with them in quick succession, except maybe like Viego Q auto.
No, they'll really be relying on the Xayah and Lissandra to take down those plants. Which, I mean, if you're burning cooldowns on plants, and those are champions that are not diving the backline, right?
That's
So,
true.
again, really looking to try and see these lanes get prio so they can make those dives happen.
I want Gangplank to be Alawi instead, and then it's the perfect team comp.
Allowing it to dive. It's the dream of all top laners to get a
Oh,
counter
yeah.
pick that good.
You love it. You love to see it. I don't know. You had given your kind of advantage to Dragon side for the Goofy Gophers. I gotta say that as far as things go, there's a certain timer for the big carries here on their team. Whereas if OT Gator can kind of start popping off that snowball, I don't know if they can mitigate it.
It's the problem with these
Viego is slippery, you know.
late game carries. When you lack the range to actually get on top of it, it's going to be so hard for you to lock them down late game. But that is all we have for analysis. The game is starting. We got a little bit of a short break to throw here while we get loaded into game. But Jared and I will be right back with you in just a few seconds here, so stay tuned.
Teams.
Somewhat even trades here across the board. I did see a Spell Thieves proc there go for Tubby's First Blood onto Gix, but also First Strike Vygar here in the mid lane going to earn a little bit of gold back, so it looks like it's dead even. My question at this point is, oh, and Elodad's doing it. He's doing the level 1 Gangplank invade. Looking to get some very early harassment off here on the jungle and topside duo.
Yeah,
Oh,
getting
never mind.
also a confirmation of where they started. I think you had to have seen them to some extent, but full leash going through to the bot side. Goofy Gophers going to be late to lane in comparison to their opponents. Really advantageous for Thim to try and push for level 2. Maybe that level advantage could be the start of something. Elodad pops out the barrel, goes for the auto attack, gets the true damage. People can't forget about that. It's not reset. That blade on fire. You stay away from that man.
Yeah, starting in lane as Gangplank or walking to lane against the Gangplank is always so difficult. This is a champ that is known for zoning people off of EXP at level 1. Just extremely powerful with the true damage burn, and barrels are coming out here as soon as in trouble.
Goes for the reset, gets the auto attack. There goes the burn as well. Taking Asuna to now half HP. The pistol burst will do enough too to capitalize that trade.
Yeah, or maybe a distant
Two
champion
first
here.
strikes too.
Just because you can always build the HP back in the lane. So it's not too bad. You are still just playing that weak side. It's just going to hurt here in the early game, and Elodad's going to look to build as much of an advantage as possible so he can just continue to farm here up here in the top lane.
OT Gator doing the sneaky. Right under the nose of Maokai. Nice pressure here from the Lissandra, trying to gain as much attention from the Maokai, trying to make sure he doesn't turn away to his own red buff. I think the facade actually works. Maokai doesn't check the red, and he actually gets it! And he gets away scot-free too, a fantastic steal. He will be found out. Maokai trying to block out the edge, has red buff though on the Viego. Nice flash and the cage to follow suit, but again, OT Gator taking an aggressive risk, but his mid laner there pulling up the smoke and mirrors move. I thought they were playing Lissandra, not LeBlanc.
Yeah, I mean, I like the look here. Yeah, getting very aggressive there in the middle lane. OT Gator is able to find some advantages here in the jungle as well, being able to take that red buff, and then Gix kind of going for a bit of a tilter invade, looking to get something back, but we'll just get chased off because, like you mentioned in the draft, them and Lord Tubbington doing a great job of maintaining priority here in the bottom lane.
Yeah, you mentioned that's kind of what they need to look for, because the somewhat passive nature of these two other opponents, Ashe, Zyra, very combo oriented, but if you don't have those tools available, you're not like a hyper carry. Does have the ignite though. Could be something they look for. Nice poke. Has both the Comet and the Spell Thieves Edge, so again, really the ability to double dip in your simple harassment, super nice. And also here for the top lane, gets for the brittle, applies it, gets the auto attack as well. Bellows Breath doing a fair amount of good in terms of blocking things. Nice flash through the wall for the stun as well, but no damage to follow suit. It was still a flashy, cool move. Just doesn't result in anything but a flash.
Yeah, I mean, that's just setting them up for success later. When you can burn the flash at level 4 like this, it means that it's not available for level 6. Lysandra just ease in. There's no cleanse on the Vygar. She will land that ultimate, and they're going to look to burst down this lane again at level 6. I want to say, though, for the top lane, Asuna's doing a great job of stopping the bleed here on the Ornn.
A lot of minions to farm right here if he does this accurately. Now back up to gets the 4 cash in. Just a 10. Yeah, we'll say probably. We'll say he's 3 CS behind if he gets out. Oh, never mind.
Pretty dang good.
Never mind.
Not
24
bad.
to 29, only 5 CS behind, and to be honest, it's not the biggest CS gap. As maybe we presumed, it's actually the bottom lane as we see 40 CS Butts now. Why'd you change your name to Butts, man? Everyone going for a reset, getting some crucial items. We'll see what Butts buys. That guy's name's Butts.
Classic mistake here. Masterful gambit from Gamer Destroyer, though, to distract his enemies. So we'll see if it pays off here.
Works
He moves his way back on the bottom lane. Potential roam coming out here from John, so we'll see if he manages to make it into mid lane. But
okay, Envision Asuna really playing happy feet. Wombo Kama goes for the Brittle Bellows Breath auto attack. These barrows, Asuna's just kind of reading them. It might be just how often he's been playing RuneScape, but he's got that minute tile by tile clicking down right now.
Elend with a good recall here. Actually manages to crash this wave on cannon. We'll be able to get back into base as well, and we'll also, through this recall, be able to avoid a gank. So OT Gator, not going to find any kind of crazy snowball start here off of finding a nice, easy, cheeky gank. But it does mean, again, he's just slowly finding his way into more farm. Elend is not really, I think, necessarily expected to stomp this lane when he's playing Gangplank. Yes, he should be able to find the win just with the sheer elo difference. But it's really just going to be about still scaling into this game. They have double solo laners scaling carries, so they're really just looking to make it late.
Well, it's interesting too. I mean, in this situation, I think he's got himself that much more of a reward for playing as he has been. Like, still forcing an aggressive front just by kit alone, and getting the sheen also with the first strike. It's forced a Bramble Vest to be purchased by Asuna. Who does that benefit except against Gangplank, you know? Like Ash, sure, but Maokai's got abilities. Veigar's going to chunk you down with abilities. The main threats right now for the early game don't have to auto you to kill you as Ornn.
Yeah, I haven't talked much about this, but the side lane threat here from the Gangplank is going to be extremely real in this game. Ornn really wants to be able to start building some magic resist to deal with a triple AP threat coming out of Goofy Gophers. When you have the Gangplank in side lane, it means you aren't stacking armor, right? You will not stand up in that 1v1 late game. You will need help. So it puts Basic Ninja Cyclones in kind of a tough spot where they have to have their tank build MR, and then it's a question of, okay, who's going to answer this over-leveled Gangplank in the side lane?
Right. And then they're trying to buy time for these levels to emerge on their own champions, but I don't know, it's a matter of the ticking time bombs on both teams, and so far, you know, there's a slight gold advantage going over to the Goofy Gophers, mainly probably because of Gangplank and how he can fabricate gold with just his kit. But beyond that, just, you know, there's got to be a break somewhere here soon.
Yeah, it was a good look
First
here.
Blood not being 8 minutes in the game, that's kind of crazy for a Summit game.
I want to say I was just really impressed with Gix there. Being mid on this timer, where Nikis's flash is about to come back up, and he's still vulnerable. Actually, I believe that just completely dissuaded OT Gator from going for the gank. So they weren't actually able to pull it off. They managed to chunk out Neutral Azul as well. So it meant that it was a play that they could no longer go for. Now that timer has actually elapsed, the flashes are back up. He's a little bit safer, still at risk because you are playing Vygar into Lysandra. Viego, but I mean, a much safer position than he was in those last 2 minutes.
I think also OT Gator felt confident to a fault, realized that maybe he was either A, falling behind or getting caught up to, and then decided that he would have more proactive options if he got 6 secured before revisited another lane.
Yep, Dragon now up and uncontested so far. Will be an Infernal Drake on the map first. do see Gix positioning towards it, might actually be able to pull this, and Maokai's ability to solo dragon isn't terrible. Oh my god, doesn't engage in bot lane though.
So much damage. Gets the flash out of Tubbyton. The ignite will be the trade option. Big shield. No forced turn though. It'll be a nice look from John Swag, finding a huge opportunity to capitalize on the support of Tubbyton and really force an early recall. Honestly, just completely blocking the river from being accessible. So this vision won't be, you can't set it up. They don't have the opportunity to. GYX is able to get this because of the aggressiveness from John.
Yeah, I mean, this is the lane that's supposed to be winning for him hard, right? This is Thim on the Xayah, supposed to be a bit of a lane bully. Really looking to make the lead happen here, but Maokai on the side looking for the dive. They're trying to set this up with the ultimate. Gangplank ult as well.
Gangplank ult as well. Here comes the double ulti. Unfortunately, Tubbyton does not get someone to bounce it off of. The Feather Recall will root one in place for a trade 1-for-1. Sim cannot, I don't think they can afford the luxury of staying. No one's here to help him. Oran's at a top lane, and OT Gator realizes GYX just fell. Going to try and take advantage and completely suck up as many of the jungle camps they can here in the top lane. In fact, Elodad even realizing this. Yes, he gets reduced gold from taking Krugs, but he does not want them to go to the enemy regardless.
Yeah, OT Gator getting some counter jungling in while the Maokai was bot there. I do like the look. I mean, this is just playing the funnel game with Elodad, but poor Gix, man, losing out on Raptors and Krugs is definitely gonna hurt. You're gonna see that impact here. OT Gator, I would not be surprised jumping up to a 2-level lead here within another camp or two.
And with that being something they can maybe look to utilize as an advantage. Something maybe they can then turn their sights to an objective. Dragon down, maybe a tower here or there. 5 plates across the board for everything but top tower. Oh, nice trade. Bella's Breath and the Ram's Charge as well.
Here comes Gix, though.
GYX looking to try and get some gold back in the game. Finds himself a pink ward. We'll go ahead and take that one out. Nice. Forcing sort of engaged here on the bot lane. Butts will take as much as they can. Cleanse will help secure their safety. Thim will actually flash for that as well. So I don't know if that's a favorable trade for the MNC team.
A bit questionable. I really think Thim thought he had pullback on feathers or some kind
lines,
of
goes for the charge into the Q, but does not find it. Bella's Breath will mark out the brittle. Finds the ultimate with the call. The Forge God goes for a second auto. He goes for the Q again, but just does not have the damage. In the middle lane, though, it's going to be Neutral Azrael going against Omnicus, dashing forward, goes for the Ice Claw, find himself in a Rage Cage. Here comes the W, Event Horizon, and more. Dark Matter plenty, as Darknicus just completely turns away any sort of engage in the mid lane.
It's kind of a funny game you have to play here on the Lysandra, as actually Cinna might be in trouble now.
Cinna doesn't realize the power of the Essence Reaver, gets the TP out of Elodad, but at what cost? It's going to cost him his life. A thumbs up from Elodad. Would normally look like a rage TP, but he just kind of ran at him and he died.
Yeah, I mean, he managed to get back and get his first item spike, so it was a pretty big advantage there over TPing back into the lane and just ended up running him down. We have a fight here in the bottom lane.
Team. Goes for the root, the stun combo. Zyra only able to buy a moment of time. Here comes the Frozen Tomb. Finds a second one, resets here. Now for OT Gator, looking for something, trying to dash forward. He finds the reset, goes for the sword slice, stabs him in the head. Will he fall? He will.
Very slight misplay there. I think there was a chance that he could have gotten out by playing on the Zyra just a little bit longer. Ends up going for it. Will get the kill. They'll get a bunch of gold back in their pockets here just through kills in the bottom lane. But I mean, there's no objective to play for. They're not going to gain too much off of this. But it feels great to get that Bork locked in on the Viego.
Get yourself even just a tiny step closer to your big item power spikes. Blade of the Rune King, I mean, it's his item. It's literally lore based off of him. Nice root combo. Ice Claw gonna find a little bit of distance. Amnika's forced to flash and the ulti. Primordial Burst will not secure the kill. The outskill button is not enough. Eldaho is here, finds the double Q plants for the range. Melee minions are here. Oh my gosh, Future Azure was still alive. Viego here, the reinforcement he has. Oh man, he goes for the slowing smite. Finds the Q, looks for a W sometime soon. Goes for the ulti and the reset instead. Now he has his own cage. He'll get stunned on his own cage from his opponent. Goes for the full combo. The Vigar's here. That's another reset. Then he's still looking for more.
a whole disaster here off of overaggression in the
Does
mid
he
lane. They
find it?
really thought they could find the kill, but Neutral as well plays it perfectly on the edge of everything. A sneeze away from death, a hair's breadth away from that vines from Zyra, but nothing finds him, and he's able to just recall for free. And OT Gator capitalizes massively off of the overextending Vigar, killing him just due to the
Goes for the root, the stun combo. Zyra only able to buy a moment of time. Here comes the Frozen Tomb. Finds the second one, resets here. Now for OT Gator, looking for something, trying to dash forward. He finds the reset, goes for the sword slice, stabs him in the head. Will he fall? He even tried to like do Zyra plants for one tank tower shot.
Yeah,
Who knows?
I mean, it's really easy to critique Viego players. They are
Sure.
playing 10 champions
Hindsight.
in one.
That's
But,
true. He's just Giga Brain. He just death rolled all over that bot fight.
yeah. The real critique here is now that they have this massive advantage on the Viego, can you turn this into dragons? You have to start at some point. You're going to get outscaled by this Gangplank and Vigar, and getting a really good soul, if this turns into a Hextech or something, is a great pathway to allow you to try and match some of that scaling.
You know what's really interesting about Gangplank being fed, and an old adage that used to exist in the game, feed to win. Does anyone remember when Mordekaiser, when you ulted someone and you killed them, you got to ghosted them with their stats?
Oh?
Well, gonna be Elo Dad just walking under tower, knows that he's just immune to everything, eats oranges, and it's K. Looking for more. OT Gator will find an engage, but he's the only fed one. It's gonna be a level 9 versus a level 12. A little bit of a raid boss situation. The rest of the team in tow, ready to launch at a moment's notice, but is this the right call? Do they just sacrifice second Drake and try to farm up, try to stem the bleeding that's still leaking out through their top lane? Ornn's actually here, so it looks like they actually want to fight for it, but the time is too late. Call of Forge God will go forward, knock up just Imnikas, but the disengage will immediately follow suit. Not a lot of confidence there, and they forced the TP out of the Gangplank. He already went top, he didn't care, he was waiting to join the fight regardless.
Yeah, just a complete loss of tempo out of this mid lane play. Neutral Azul tried to go aggressive onto Vigar, looking to get the chunk down so that they could then just walk down to the dragon fight. But unfortunately, Elend roams down just so early to this dragon fight, making it impossible for Neutral Azul to actually walk into that mid lane play. They dropped a few ultimates towards the mid lane, and there was no one to protect him, so he just goes down in that mid lane play. 4v5 on the dragon. They ended up calling down Asuna, but again, it's just too late. Like you mentioned, the Call of Forge God comes out too late. The Call to Engage is just too late. And again, even if they manage to pull off that Engage, you are walking into a Vigar cage, Zyra plants, Ash Arrow, just too much to walk through. So really well played on the map here from Goofy Gophers. Super intelligent play, set themselves up for success, and continue to make away these dragons that are so desperately needed.
This trade here in the bottom lane, you do have the opportunity, we'll say, however unlikely it may be, that Gangplank ends up giving his freshly filled pockets of gold over to the Viego for a momentary test drive. As he's nearing 2k gold ahead of OT Gator. That unfortunately looks like it might be one of the biggest things that helps you win. But it also looks like the less likely thing to occur. Although it looks like they want to try it anyway. Gonna go top, gonna find the stun onto Elodad. I may have spoken too soon. Caster Curse is almost real. OT Gator gets slowed after ulting. The reinforcements have been called. Neutral Azure will actually find a blast cone to safety. Shelly charging the other way, mad at the world. OT Gator basing in top lane. Elodad forced as well to base. 2 ADCs, this is the this is what the game has become now, and I love it. The ADC is just sit bottom and farm. So cute.
Yeah, OT Gator really wants to collect this shutdown on the Gangplank. Unable to find it there. Nice escape from Elodad. Has been the flash, but I mean, that's one of those ganks that's just so hard to pull off. If the Gangplank isn't committing into the wave, committing into the Ornn, you don't have Call the Forge God up, it's just gonna be really, really hard to do. They still managed to almost pull it off through the damage, but Ash Arrow just to delay and spot, yeah. Gonna use the Call the Forge God.
Gonna be answered with the Wild Growth as well. The ultimate from Maokai will gain that movement speed, root up 2 members, and now just the full collapse. The Goofy Gophers have burrowed themselves to a winning team fight. OT Gator flashing over the wall into enemy territory. Them now the target, gonna be poked out from this Ash. It's a full damage one at that. Cannot step up so freeway. And now, as the Goofy Gophers win the river team fight, they now spread their vision into the enemy jungle.
Maokai's really OP, what can I say? Drops the roots on the fight. 2 of them find backline members, and Elodad is there to deliver the sweet kiss of death with those barrels. Finding them immediately, just way too much damage for anyone to handle, and they just blow up the team fight right then and there. And like the thing is, they didn't really need the Asher. The Asher was just there to delay and hold them in place for a second. No damage coming through off the back of that ultimate, but it set up, or it allowed Goofy Gophers to set up positioning to just take over that fight.
Yeah, to slow the threat of the stun, keeping someone in place, although you know reinforcements are coming, for even just 2 seconds in League of Legends is a tremendous amount of
Asher
time.
just delay and spot, yeah. Gonna use the Call of the Forge God.
Gonna be answered with the Wild Growth as well. The ultimate from Maokai will gain that movement speed, root up 2 members, and now just a full collapse. The Goofy Gophers have burrowed themselves to a winning team
and
fight.
Maokai's ultimate kind of just cancel each other out.
Yeah,
If you
that
throw the
sucks.
vines at one person, you can't follow up due to Call of the Forge God knocking you up. But if they throw Call of the Forge God at you, they're not going to be able to actually follow up on those knockups. So I really would have liked to see maybe even throwing the Ram backwards to try and stop the Gangplank. But that's something they even have vision of him. It was just a really good setup play here. And a hard read from the Goofy Gophers to go to that Herald play and make it happen.
I think proactivity would be the name of the beast here, right? Ash looking for something, even freely willing to use that ultimate to look for a pick or to start something, and it ended up working out well for them. The lack thereof, though, from maybe not Mystic Ninja Cyclones will actually find Elodad in a 1v2 situation. Will they find the kill, though? They do! It's a reset! He does not dodge the Ash ult? He took the full damage? I don't know what just happened there, but it's a... Oh my gosh, it's Imnikas now as well, alive. Would look so fantastic for the Mystic Ninja Cyclones is now turning disastrous as 3 will fall. Sure, they got their reward. They shut down Elodad, but that's the price you pay the Piper is 3 of your own. Hashtag not worth it.
Yeah, that's MNC really wishing next season was here. That stopwatch was massively clutched by Elodad. I'm a huge fan of buying like this or stopwatch whenever you can, just because it allows you to make crazy plays like that with your team. Everyone teleporting in, running down to the bottom lane to clean up some kills. And despite, that shutdown going over, this Gangplank and Vygar are not slowing down anytime soon. They're picking up another dragon.
Elodad in a 1v2 situation. Will they find the kill, though? They do! It's a reset! He does not dodge the Ash ult? He took the full damage? I don't know what just happened there, but it's a... Oh my gosh, it's Imnikas now as well, alive. Would look so fantastic for the Mystic Ninja Cyclones is now turning disaster. Goofy Gophers have been doing this kind of thing all season. I mean, I can't tell, on my team personally, I don't know if your team ever fell victim to it, but assuming that the person that you're trying to go for is alone, it's never true against this team. They're never alone.
Yeah, it's a bit of a team failing as well. You need to be able to time those TPs, and sometimes it's also just like, guys, the game's not looking so good. We have to go for a side lane play here with numbers advantage. I don't care if they have TPs. We need to kill them quick. And that's just the play you have to make. I mean, that's how they're feeling. But here's a nice land chain CC right on the Gix.
Combo gets the Maokai too. That's something to maybe take in consideration. While a lot of these pockets are padded with cash from the Goofy Gophers, they can utilize that gold if they can just secure the Viego reset on them.
Yeah, jungler dying right next to Baron to 4 members usually means an instant move onto the Baron here. But that Gangplank ultimate did so much damage to them that they actually couldn't stick around, even with Seraphine healing. So they'll be forced to recall, they get their pick, and they're just stalling out the game a little bit longer to allow them to try and scale into these fights a little bit. But again, scaling I do not think is on their side this game.
No, Gangplank has 3 items. Asuna has 1 item.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'd be like that for top players.
Here's the thing. If Mystic Ninja Cyclones is allowed to scale this game, if they're given the ability to farm, eventually Ornn items will come online for everyone, right?
That is true. And you know, Gangplank can only get 2 items worth stronger, so there's that.
He can only be maximum strength in maybe another 6 minutes.
Yeah. Not...
Yeah.
You can and then and after that you're fine. Like, what else can he do to you?
You can build more armor. He can't build more damage if he has all of his items.
It's true.
Well, I guess he could sell his boots, but he wouldn't do that.
No one would do that, surely.
He'd just sit in his bag with 6K in the pocket. He wouldn't spend. Leading
my
the
opinion?
charge here into tier 1 tower. Just going to walk up with impunity. No Jarvan look here, unfortunately. They don't have the flashiest of engages. They're pretty darn telegraphed, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's just a huge problem that you have to deal with. I mean, Ornn ultimate, you see the Ornn horn come down. You're throwing down the vines. You're throwing down Zyra plants. You're throwing down. Oh wow, very close to
Okay.
engage there actually.
They actually find Eldaho. Call of Forge guy will clip him as well, but they'll take the flash as a little consolation prize. Use this to gain some sort of semblance of vision. No, they'll just go for the deny. They don't feel comfortable extending it as of yet.
Yeah, it's just
What
a
do
hard
they
draft to
do?
win. You have just so much dive into what feels like champions that are extremely good against it.
spotted. They'll use some resources. I'm incredibly surprised they didn't throw more out at him there.
I mean, it was just in the bush there. I don't think they actually had vision until the plants came down. So maybe didn't really know who else could have been in that bush. There was a pink ward in there. But Baron's being started up here, and they have to run fast to make it here in time.
Yeah, I think they maybe... Gosh, they
Oh.
go for the ultimate with the Seraphine clips a crucial target. He does not flash! That is a reset for the Viego, but he'll be just instantly blasted to smithereens! Them looking for an engage, goes for the Feather Force for the recall. They actually find one as Asanas gonna sacrifice their life. It's neutral Azro looking for an engage. Them trying to heal up off the Baron, but does not have any sort of life steal, so I don't know what he's doing there. But
There
wow.
was actually a brief time where Thim could have maybe taken over the Baron if he had played just a little bit closer to it. But playing for the fight was much more important there for that team. They managed to find some kills, trading mostly even across the board here. Looks good when you're this far behind, and what a
3 for
great
3.
fight there.
Maybe Gosh, they
Oh.
go for the ultimate with the Seraphine clips a crucial target. He does not flash. That is a reset for the Viego, but he'll be just instantly blasted to smithereens. Them looking for an engage, goes for the Feather Force for the recall. They actually find
He
one.
managed to find the
That's
kill
awesome.
onto the Gangplank pretty early on. He was not able to place down barrels and completely wipe the fight. So a nice engage here from the side of MNC to keep themselves in the game. But they're going to need to do more than that here, as Soul is spawning in 8 seconds, and they are down some key ultimates.
Yeah. Hey, Gangplank can only get so strong, right?
That's what I'm saying!
OT Gator trying to do the damage. Gets the first upgrade out of the bunch. Asuna can't get it because he doesn't have a mythic item yet, but that soon will come to fruition. They'll pull the trigger on the question mark ping Baron of the Century. And are they going to get away with it?
They actually are
Arnikas
going
find
to.
something. They have no idea!
I mean, they
Oh
actually knew. They
my
had full
God.
vision. There was a vision trinket
It's in the
on the
river.
Baron there, but they pink ward it, and they just decided to go for it for the objective bounty plus the gold swing it gives them. They're trading out the soul, yes, but sometimes it's just kind of play you have to make. It might be worse for them to actually be playing into a Baron, and this is the only chance you're ever going to have to take that Baron is when the other team is distracted.
Force the tower. So much damage with no minions here. Goes for the engage. Misses all, but no front line there. Called the Fort God. Will find 3 on the back line. And Dim will pop off. He'll take out one. Pushing forward. Asuna now put up his own push. Nice done.
He's down.
The out
He's
skill
fallen.
button. Oh my goodness. It's a
Did
Vigar
you
moment.
see the barrel chain that OT Gator hit there? He actually pulls out the barrels, makes it work. That's one of the harder champions to pilot, I think, in the game, if you're not familiar with Gangplank, but still manages to find a critical barrel chain in the middle of that fight. Massive, massive overstay here from the side of Goofy Gophers. Nets 4 dead, 2 towers taken, Baron is gone, and a huge tempo swing in this game. We'll see if they can continue to push forward here onto the Nexus
Don't know
towers,
flash on
but
Eldaho too. They need to know that Eldaho needs to play reserve. Yes, you can let the inhibitor die. It will respawn. You have a phenomenal amount of wave clear. Just you can't die and gain more momentum to the enemy team.
yeah, they're not going to give up this engage. I mean, what are you doing? Just pushing with 0 minions there. They walked under tower into a Call of the Forge God and a
Goes for the
Seraphine ultimate.
engage,
It
misses
was just
all,
such a
but no
bad
front
start
line.
to the fight, and there was no way they could
Look at this.
possibly win. Nice
That's the
stall
kill
there.
on the crucial target.
Yes, nice stall there from Neutral Azul under the tower. I mean, at this point, it's just an OT Gator show. Nice turnaround from Nikus here to get 1 kill back, but it does end up costing him. So, was the shutdown gold worth it? I don't actually think so. I think he maybe could have just kept running out there with the Vigar cage and Zyra plants to stall. But we're back on the map here. There's an Elder Dragon as the next objective, coinciding with the Baron spawn. It's going to be a really crazy end of the game here, and it'll all come down to being able to find those engages when those critical disengage cooldowns are gone.
Nikas is on the hunt, has Dead Man's Plate, gonna go probably for probably Zhonya's guarantee the safety from backline dives, but
30 seconds until
Hello,
humans
everyone.
spawn.
Welcome back to the Summit Esports Premier League for Season 3. I am once again your hostess, Joan, here, joined by Connor. We're here to cast all the action here in Elend's Entourage versus Gawr's kindergarten class. I am all excited to see what the Entourage and the kindergartners can do up against each other now as we are going into this brand new game.
Yes, we appreciate the wait time, and it has been exciting now that we're starting off. We're going in right away, a minute in, and we're seeing not a lot of invades, but a couple wards on the map, and bot lane hiding in the bush. They want to get that sneaky play. I like it. Can we see if Lux got Q first? I wanna know, because that definitely seems like a point where they could be getting that. That would be huge for them to catch E first. Okay, all right. Well, might be still able to push out damage. I believe that E does way more damage. So, and if there is an ignite and an exhaust, so here we go.
Okay, looking
Okay,
for a little damage
alright,
there, a little bit
got
of
some
chip there
poke.
onto Lucian. Gonna take a fair chunk of damage from that. I am actually having a hard time seeing the screen here. Oh my goodness, it looks like we are still getting everything all set up here, but the action is already raging on. You can see some of that damage starting to get chipped out onto the bot, and then Heiko starting to get chipped away. There we go, perfect, thank you. We are going to see the engagement. First blood is going to go over to the Lucian. Heiko will pick that up, but he will fall as well. Array will take the kill. So it's going to be an 80 carry for support trade there. Up in the top lane, just a little quick trade back and forth, but more importantly, that bottom lane trade between the 80 carries.
Yeah, that was important for Array to get that trade right there. Lucian was kind of baiting there for a second. I was surprised by the patience by Heiko. Lux was definitely trying to itch in there for some damage and just got a little too close, and that is exactly what the Lucian wanted, and was able to just get in there, snipe the Lux. Didn't really have a lot of disengage though, and Array was able to just snipe right back. Got that long range bullet to the head, and it was enough to trade. It might have been worth, but at the same time, since Lucian died, Array was
Bit of
able
an
to take
invasion here. I'm going to cut you off here as we go in. Flash over the wall. Try and get Namity safety. Saucy is going to stay alive. Gawr goes in. They managed to pick up Usurper. Soulpen in a dangerous spot, surrounded on all sides. Is not going to be able to make it out of there. They do manage to escort the Caitlyn. Now it might be that mid laner in a bit of a trouble. Does manage to get away. Going to use the tether. Ray, meanwhile, trying to retreat, does manage to put down some damage on Heiko, and they are gonna survive for the time being. But that is going to be 2 eliminations over to the side of Entourage. Or pardon, over to the kindergartners.
Brissy trying to hold it up top right now too, and it's gonna be pretty important for Brissy to hold this right here, because the Fiora is gonna be a monstrosity in the top lane. They might be potentially turning this game all on Zen and Fiora. So if Fiora can get those plates, she's gonna steamroll this game with that gold lead.
Do you see junglers trying to path around here? Looks like Soulpan currently just going to be farming in the jungle. We do see a wraparound from Viego, maybe doing a little bit of an invade here. Be looking for that. Is Luke just going to pick up that scuttle in the river? Maybe head back towards the mid lane. Both junglers on the top side of the map, so there is a quick answer if the Karma survives.
Gawr was able to snipe out that scuttle there too. This is going to be a huge clash of the junglers right now. We got some a little bit of skirmish up top.
That was a little scary there. If that knockup had hit, Perry was on cooldown. Trading blows back and forth, but this is one of the downsides of the Ornn in matchups where you really need to push. We also see a jungler coming in, Soulpan coming in from the backside. Brizzy's in a dangerous spot, gonna go under the tower to try
he's going the other way!
Oh no! He didn't really have an option to go out the normal way. He is gonna take that down. So the good news is he's not handing an assist over to that jungler, so Soulpan is still gonna be 0-1. But he's
Brizzy
gonna
was
hand
looking
that
for the
over to
greatest scoop.
Fiora.
He was hoping to get away right there, but yeah, it was just good night for him. Caught in a rough spot right there. The Zen and Fiora is going to be steamrolling this game as much as they can. Looks like there's going to be a little skirmish over at the Rift side right now. Diego's just going to...
Picking up some Void Grubs. They do manage to steal one away, so Sopan's going to get one for himself. Just have a top laner coming down as well as the mid laner. They do land the empowered Q. There's the tether. With the dash, they are able to get Viego away. A very fragile champion at this stage of the game. They're going to put a lot of damage down on this Vladimir. He doesn't have the pool left. Are they going to have enough burst to get it down? There's the tether. He does have the pool now. Not able to use it, but does commit the flash. Sopan going to get low. So they do manage to burn a flash out of the Vladimir.
The kindergarten class were really hoping to snipe those Void Grubs, and it didn't work out super well for them, but they were able to disengage properly, so that's good. That karma damage was massive, by the way. That ulti Q went super hard.
Good snare there. No one's going to commit anything. Looks like they're just going to pop the Scryer's Bloom and back away. Pretty slow game state here, all things considered. We have had a few attempted engages, but oh, there goes the light biting. Is going to miss Usurper, unfortunately. Not going to connect. This is an opportunity to go ahead. Let's have a look at the gold here. Things relatively even slightly to the kindergartners here.
That was a nice dodge there by Heiko. Heiko's going to be trying to be fancy feet this whole game. It is going to be tough navigating around those traps, getting around those Lux E's and Q's, so Heiko's going to have to be doing work right now.
Navigating a little bit of a minefield, yeah, especially when you consider the range advantage of that Caitlyn. Lucian likes to be an early game bully, likes to put pressure on you early and use that to scale into the late game. To be fair, he has picked up 2 kills and an assist off of that earlier skirmish. But things are still leaning currently in the way of the Caitlyn, ahead in farm. Not ahead in kills or assists, so it's only the aggression of that Lucian. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, Tether comes out. There's the Hemo Plague. Karma putting down a lot of damage. We're going to go ahead and go down to the bottom lane where Heiko is taking a huge chunk of damage. Ray managing to get off a shot, getting off a headshot on him. Up inside the top lane, we decide that, okay, we're going to have the duelist challenge. Is he going to do enough? Yes, Injustice is going to pick up a solo kill on Rissy. This is that hyper carry potential we were talking about. Vladimir in a dangerous spot. Sopan trying to come around the side. Does manage to get him. Goes for the dash. Sopan will survive this. No! Gonna go down to the tower shot. Not enough health to survive that. Scaling did just enough to take out his last hit point. So a little bit of a trade there.
Right before that Zin died, Zin had, I believe, I counted 3 long swords, so there's 0 armor on the Zin, but you know, that's looking at the comp. I think they're going for the huge Fiora Zin plays here, but that's the give and take. If you're not able to build any armor, then you're going to be taking your health tower shots there. I wanted to say good flash on Fiora too, able to get that weak point off and secure the kill onto Brissy. Still not able to get a plate though, but able to get that the kill gold. And is now 2 kills up on Brissy and just about 15 farms. So there's a pretty solid gold lead, and now has the Tiamat. So it's gonna be lates out pretty soon here.
Speaking of taken, we do have our first dragon of the game going to be taken off the field. It's going to be that Hex Tech dragon. I think that's an excellent one just for the kindergarten to take off of the field. A lot of auto attack champions on the other side of the field here. We are actually taking a lot of damage, and just it is forced to back away here, just in case Brissy decides to go on the aggressive side of things.
Brissy's definitely going to want to hold this play. It's going to be tough with the Tiamat now on Fiora, but Brissy was able to secure a Bramble Vest, which is going to be good. With that Fiora ulti, that healing field is going to be massive. And I assume Orin is going to want to keep using that dash that he's got more offensively than defensively. So there's with Fiora being so mobile, is going to get all those weak points off, and Orin might be popping that ulti. So if Brissy can stop as much healing as possible, that's going to be very important for him.
Void Grubs are going to go over to Entourage. They're going to be having a hold of that power, so slight advantage there. able to pick that up on the backside. We do see Gawr coming in on the backside. Caitlyn might be caught out. There's a trap. They do manage to land the stun. There's the tidal wave in the bubble. Heiko has all the time in the world to get the damage out. They also allow Gawr to get out as well off the backside. Just a well-executed tower dive.
Super solid right there. Well played by the bots, or by the red side. Heiko, I didn't even realize. I thought Heiko was going to be jungle this game, so there's a little bit of a lane swapping going on here too. I thought, oh, it's always jungle. Okay, so I guess I was just looking at the the match history from all the players, and so I kind of went to wrong assumptions.
GG sometimes.
You can never can, and I like that we have some variety players here. I'm a one trick myself, so it's nice to see that we got some people that have versatile play styles and versatile mindsets in this game.
Speaking of versatility, we are getting now into the middle stage of the game here. Some of these champions starting to hit their level 9s and 10s. What can you see the pattern of play here coming? Ooh, we actually, on second thought, we do have Sylvan coming in from the side. A full combo lands on the Lux. Ace in the hole is not going to drop Heiko down low. They are not going to commit to the dive. They do have the Viego coming in to back up that bot lane, so they are going to back away.
That was a really nice binding on the Lux, but they were not able to secure it. I think that was really well played by Heiko. He had the flash at just the right time. He was able to get out before all the damage came on him, and there was a Viego right there looking for the snipe with the sword.
Does mean that you don't have that flash for later on. That was a ton of damage on your AD carry as well. Thankfully, you have the Nami down there. She's going to be able to help the Lucian sustain. Didn't take quite enough damage to force him out of the lane if you've got a little safety and a little time for Nami to pop that ebb and flow over and over again. Brissy here up in the top lane. It's kind of settled into a pretty calm phase here. Does have that Bramble Vest, of course, as we mentioned earlier. Great item into Fiora just because it nullifies that healing on her passive. Playing very well to try and avoid getting those points caught. Very slow top lane at times. We do have some folks up in the top lane. This could be a dive. We do see an engagement from Sulpan going under the turret. There's the tether. They're going to follow up. Injustice picks up the kill on a killing spree now. We do have two people in the area. Gawr not able to continue the fight. This gets blown up. Phobos is going to be the one to pick up that kill, and Vladimir is caught out alone. 1 versus 3. Hemoflake does come down. Is going to keep him alive, and with the flash and the puddle, they'll go ahead and escape.
Entourage there with a very nice dive. They were all super full health, and Brissy coming out super low was not able to make it out. With the new map changes too, there's not a whole lot of room that you can go now with that bush right there. So that pretty much walked into a death trap.
Yeah, it felt like once your top laner goes down in that scenario, it might be the best idea to call off the dive. Because now you're in a 3 versus 2, and even if you do have the tower, you don't necessarily have the initiative advantage. We did see, it looked like they had maybe a ward up there or something that allowed them to catch the engage out. So unfortunately, not able to capitalize on that. Things going ahead, moving to a mid stage of the game. We do see Viego kind of hovering around the bot side, but Jin's there too. Isn't going to be caught out by any wards. Heiko going in hard on the Lux.
Oh my lord!
Here comes Jin Zhao. Heiko forced to retreat. Teleport coming in as well. There's the ace in the hole. They're going to put down a lot of damage on the Caitlyn. Forced to back away. Ornn teleport is down here. No Call of the Forge God left. They are going to be forced to back off here. They do have the pressure as they push this up. This could be a dragon.
Wow, they did another trade. That was insane. If they, it looks like
you can get him. Yes, and that does look like it's going to be dragon. At the very least, they're pinging the area, but they're not doing it very quickly, so they might have an opportunity to contest on the other side. They don't have the Lucian, so they don't have a ton of damage. It's going to be 3 versus 3 here in that dragon pit. So with the option, Lucian is starting to come in here, as well as the 4th member, the Lux on the back line. That dragon is getting awfully low. You don't see a dragon on the other side. There goes the knockout. Dragon's going to get slayed by Jin Zhao. Sulpan's going to pick that up for his team. They're also going to take a Lux with them.
I want to say that was the right call by the kindergarten class. They wanted that 3-man dragon. I thought they had the damage, but they were just not able to do it. And at first they had the 3-man pull up, so it was a 3v3. But then you had the Lux, and once you have an extra Lux, it is lights out for the dragon. And they picked up, I believe, another kill. So that was a really well played by the Entourage here. We got some action up top.
The Duelist Challenge, and Justice picks up another kill, 4-0-1 on this Fiora, just casually walking up to the Vladimir and proccing as many weak points as possible. They're going to commit on teleport as well, just to try and get someone up to stop this Fiora. Ornn is the one who's going to go ahead and catch the wave. Is not going to quite get all of that farm, will at least catch the wave. You're going to go ahead and back up. This is what we were talking about earlier when we were talking about the hyper carry potential of the Fiora. Rift Herald is going to go over to the Xin Zhao because of that, because of the Fiora, the pressure the Fiora put on the map. And like, this is that hyper carry we were talking about. This is the terror of the Fiora.
We're definitely seeing that Fiora. We're seeing a little bit of Xin Zhao too. What I think is interesting is I thought Viego was going to be a little bit more of a threat this game, but I'm seeing now Lucian is tied up with the Caitlyn on the farms, which is, and also 2 kills ahead. So Lucian and the Vladimir as well, super high on the farm lead right now. So they're going to be massive on the damage. They might be able to pull
Very close
it.
collapse, so caught in the light binding. There's the tidal wave through the wall, but it's not enough. Array is going to pick up Heiko. They're going to be forced to retreat. There's the pardon, the final spark is not going to connect. The finale Spunklin, I believe, is what it's actually called, but I have friends who are Toho fans. That's going to be a shutdown onto that. Viego is going to pick up a double kill, take out the opposing jungler as well, and that could be the swing that they need to turn this back.
I like that finale Spunklin reference. That was from some OG Lux fans going on. I can't remember when they changed it, but
I am old.
I think it's Final Spark is not the name of it. That was an
now
old
Final
change.
Spark?
Yeah, that was an
Okay.
old change, but that's a cool reference. I think it was German.
It's a Toho reference, actually. It's mostly based on like Japanese mythology, and it's a bunch of cute girls playing bullet hell games.
I just love that.
I've got a friend who's a big fan of the, and that's why I always remember Lux in that final spark in the finale Spunklin. But getting back into our actual game here, we do see some of that pressure starting to turn around here. We see they've moved the Fiora down to the bottom side of the map where there's more towers for her to take on those outer rims there. Bit of focus there towards that mid lane. A lot of pressure going to be coming down.
Yeah, they're going to want to be sending Fiora anywhere they can now that Fiora is able to 1v1 the Vladimir, able to 1v1 the Ornn, now anybody. So Fiora is going to be taking whatever she wants, wherever she goes, and whatever she pleases. She's the new Mundo.
I don't think she quite goes wherever she pleases, but she certainly does cut it down. Is actually going to abandon the side lane to move up towards the mid lane. Cosmo puts a ton of damage onto Array. Is he going to be able to get it out? The Culling comes out. They are going to pick it up. Gawr is forced to back away. Does pick up the spirit of the Caitlyn. Woo, that final spark cutting it awfully close there. They are able to drop down a few traps.
I gotta give props to Heiko for getting all these solo, or not necessarily solo kills, but getting all these like mission picks. He's just going in there and he's just getting out immediately. I gotta respect.
That was a little scary on both sides. Meanwhile, on the bottom side of the map, Injustice putting down some serious damage here onto the mid laner. This Vladimir is having a hard time finding a place to farm.
Vladimir is going to want to pick up as much farm lead as possible. Now 50 farm up, so that is massive, but it never stops. The endless thirst for that farm score is going to be going on forever in this game.
Unfortunately, not going to have many options to slake his thirst. We do see the Fiora continuing to push up in that bottom side of the map. We'll probably be going for that turret too soon. Probably doesn't want to immediately dive into the Vladimir. Sultan might be in a bit of a dangerous spot this far forward. They do know that he's there. Looks like they're going to go ahead and drop another ward. aren't going to commit for a dive here, but they are starting to position around this dragon. Sulpen in a bad spot. There goes the tidal wave, and the bubble is logged off. Great pressing strike there from Sulpen to protect his team. It's not going to be enough. They lose their AD carry to the jungler and are forced to retreat as the teleport comes in. Oh no, Karma! Heiko's going to pick up Phobos there, and that's going to be a 2-for-0, and the dragon.
Oh my god, we're gonna get a bowling sound effect for that Ornn ulti because Brissy just went bowling and just striked right there. That was crazy.
Maybe this is a baseball metaphor because someone just struck out. They're gonna pick up that dragon. Now 2-1 dragons here do have a slight gold lead. I am actually amazed by how close this game is.
Yeah, it's going crazy right now. Red team getting that dragon. They're not done though. They're moving up.
A fight breaking out here around the Baron pit. Just going to take a lot of damage. Never saw picks up Array. Maybe going to finally start turning things around. That's a huge shutdown. That's huge for the Vladimir. Heiko is also going to be trying to dive in. Does manage to pick up Sulpen. Very low health bars. Goes down to Usurper. Not able to get away. So that's going to be an open Baron pit here. Usurper the only one. No, is going to be backed up by Phobos. Doesn't manage to do enough damage to take out the Nami. They are now pressuring this Baron. Ornn forced to back away. Oh, are they going to be able to turn this around? Vladimir forced to leave. They are going to stop the Baron. That's a huge play, being able to stop that.
Oh, the kindergarten class was trying to be a class of bullies. They were getting the dragon, and they said, we're not done. We're going up top, and we're going to take whatever you have. Give me your lunch money, and then they're going to take the Baron on top of that, too. But they were not able to execute it quite well. They didn't have enough people, and blue team, the Entourage, came right back up and were able to stop that. That was really well played by the Entourage to stop that Baron, but it was still a fairly even trade, so we're going to see what continues to happen. I'd say that was a little bit up for the kindergarten class. They're now up 2k gold, 3 kills, and a dragon now on the Entourage.
Well, I will say that this is the most brutal kindergarten class I've ever seen. I don't think mine was nearly so strong and tactical here. Kindergartners also going to be benefiting from the fact that they're going to pick up that red buff here is now global to their team. Gonna be send the Vladimir down in the bot lane. He is going to be able to clear those waves. Did get a whole bunch of gold back from that, so might actually be able to fight this Fiora now. You can see 3, 2, and 2, but that shutdown gold makes such a huge difference.
Oh, yeah, that's going to be massive. Speaking of shutdowns, we got a little bit of a bounty right now on the Viego. Viego's coming out of the woodworks now with some kills, and Vladimir too. Not as many kills, but with a 60 farm lead. Now the first one to hit 200.
Here's the engagement. Sulpen does press and strike them away, but it's not going to be enough. Finale's Funkling comes in, pardon the final spark, call the Forge God through the team, and it's just Sulpen trying to get away at this point. It's going to be 1-4-0 as they currently are on the retreat. Usurper is able to get away. Do try to have the engage. They turn it back around. They get the shutdown onto this Viego. They are able to turn it back around and turn it into another kill. So it is currently even. Vladimir in a bit of a dangerous spot. Usurper going to keep himself alive with the shields. Array putting down so much damage as Caitlyn has been allowed to free fire the entire fight. Ace of the Hole comes up. That's going to be a KO. They're going to back away. Array takes out Brissy.
I gotta give it to the Entourage there. They played their champion pools really well.
Oh my goodness! Just over the wall, Heiko putting out so much damage, walking in and immediately just deleting 2 members of the team for a double.
Heiko on another mission and gets away with another kill. Heiko is going stupid right here. As I was saying though, really well played by the Entourage. Brissy trying to tank the whole damage and let Vladimir get away, but both Lux and Caitlyn were just able to just use their abilities and their attacks the best that they could and snipe right over Ornn's head.
I mean, sometimes that's just what it comes down to. Like, you let the Caitlyn free fire on you. That is a champion with such consistent DPS, especially now as we're starting to scale into the later stages of the game here. We do see Frozen Heart on that Vladimir. I just want to point that out. That item is... What is that doing on a Vladimir? Like, that's... So...
Yeah,
So let
Okay,
me
so
let me point
I-
this out to you. Like, I know Frozen Heart is extremely powerful in this meta, and like if we look at the team on the other side, we can see like that's an incredibly useful item into the Caitlyn, into the Jin Zhao, into the Fiora. But at the same time, why are you building that on the Vladimir and not the Ornn?
Vladimir, you make a good point.
He comes down. They're gonna shut down the jungler. Or pardon, they're gonna shut down the AD carry. Now, unfortunately, Nazi is gonna be caught out by the team. Lot of poke coming out here. Now we're gonna get some more to follow up. Gawr gonna be taken down. Usurper is gonna be the one to pick up that kill. Oh, I'm not sure I like these chances, Vladimir. This is the fight for the dragon. You don't really have a good angle or a jungler to be taking this. Might be better to just back away. Looks like he is just gonna hover around the area. Blue team's gonna pick up the dragon. Back away. Hemo Plague on the back lines catches 3. Is he going to be able to survive? Call of the Forge God. Procs a little early and misses the knockup. That's going to be unfortunate. Britsy's going to go down with that. Does end up saving the Vladimir for at least a little bit as the team now barrels down towards him. Oh, this could be dangerous. Does get the speed boost. Pops the Ghost. Gonna get a little AoE. Pulls under the tower. Does have a little safety, but only so much. Whoa, my goodness. Does pick up the KO. They're gonna shut him down. What burst damage there.
I really saw the vision by Vladimir. Never saw it, but it didn't work out the way I wanted it to as much. That was crazy. It's always so satisfying when you can see massive people die, but we only saw one person die. The vision was there, but the execution was not. I got to give it up to the Entourage. They pretty much rolled as a whole squad right there. They were just a huge squad of fish just rolling. Never at once did they separate. There was a little bit of separation going on from the kindergarten class, and you could just see them getting picked apart one by one, coming back in, and the Entourage were just able to stay fully grouped and stay front to backing and just picking apart one by one until they had enough people to do the dragon safely, and it worked out super well for them. Now evening up the dragons and closing out that gold gap just a little bit, now only behind by about 1,000 and some change, and only down 1 kill now.
So now that we've actually got a pause in the action, what's up with that Frozen Heart on the Vladimir? Why on Vlad?
In this game mode, the effect is good. Now, for why it's not on Brissy and why it's on Vladimir, that I'm not sure. If I were to make a guess, I would just say it's because of the gold lead.
Oh, gonna cut you off there. Gawr is going in, put down a ton of damage, they pick up a kill. They're gonna turn it right back around. Silpen taking him out. They do commit the Crescent Strike for that, but I'd say that was probably worth it. They are gonna trade their mid laner for the jungler. Now they do have a moment of some pressure. They're not gonna commit it to the Baron though.
I was gonna say, I think that the Frozen Heart went on Vladimir because of just the money, just the economy, how it is. Brissy might have had to rush that Sunfire Cape. I can't recall when he finished that Thornmail, but if he was already part way into building the Sunfire Cape with items that weren't going into the Frozen Heart, it might have just been a difficult choice, and he wasn't able to. I mean, he just went back and bought that Null Magic Mantle, and it could have just been a really easy option for Vladimir to get that Frozen Heart, and it's super effective in this game considering the champions that they have on the Entourage.
Well, I will say that it does fit from a lore perspective, from what we know about Vladimir. Not exactly the most caring man in the world, so Frozen Heart quite suits him. But looking at the gold lead here, slight edge to the Kindergartner still. Just barely leading ahead, but it's only about a 1k gold lead. I do see the Vladimir coming down towards that bottom side of the map, starting to poke the Fiora, and it looks like the tables have turned a little. Fiora not quite such far ahead of this Vladimir at this point. Is still able to close into melee with him. Gonna proc that phase rush. There's the grand challenge. Oh my goodness, Vlad is still healing through it. This get proc the healing, so that's probably gonna be lights out for Vladimir. Injustice on a killing spree.
Fiora just going everywhere that they want to go. Very well played, dancing around the Vladimir, waiting for the
Oh
boost.
my goodness, the damage on that Nami tidal wave is committed. You're not getting out of there. You're gonna use the parry. Looks like a TP is committed to get Fiora into the area. They're gonna use that to go ahead and go for Baron.
So that could potentially be an easy Baron for the Entourage right now.
Very well could be. We don't have a jungler in the area. Viego is still moving up towards it. They are aware that this is happening. They do have vision in the area.
But they do not have vision on the Baron itself.
Not immediately. It looks like the kindergartners might have to give this up. Yeah, that's going to be Baron Nashor. That's going to be a gold swing over here. That's going to put the edge in the hands of Entourage. They barely miss out on that light binding. That could have been huge. We do have a dragon coming up, and this will put either team at soul point.
It might have taken 100K right onto the whole money pile across the board, but now the Entourage is finally looking up a K ahead. They're feeling good right now.
This has been such a swingy game back and forth. It's going to be Gawr alone, actually, down here at this dragon. Doesn't even have a protection detail. Does have Saucy actually going to back him up. Give us a little bit of healing here as they prepare to... Oh, no, they back off the dragon, actually. Maybe they were aware of the kill squad that was coming down from the mid lane, and they are having Vladimir and Horn join them as well. So it's going to be 4 versus 4. So they all group up around the dragon. This could be a big fight.
Oh, there goes this binding, but there's not going to be much going off after that. The kindergarten class is going to secure that dragon, and Fiora is going to try to take these towers.
Continuing to put the pressure on the map. That's what you do as a top laner. That's what your job is. You draw pressure. And Fiora is doing an excellent job of that. Going to pick up another turret as they continue to put down the pressure with the use of this Baron buff. Excellent use of it. Start pressuring now this inhibitor tower. A lot of damage on Heiko. The 80 carry forced to back away.
Yeah, that's not very good for Heiko. Brissy coming in here trying to hold down what he can, trying to be the face of the shielding. They're going to really want to keep this inhibitor tower. Entourage doing the best they can to just keep up the pressure.
You know, we were skeptical at first, but this siege composition is built for this specific moment. You have the Fiora on the side lane, and everybody else just forces you to engage with them here. Can disengage you with the traps, can disengage you with the Karma, can disengage you with the Lux. There goes the attempt in. The Vladimir taking so much damage. Call of the Forge God goes through, catches 3, followed by the tidal wave. Array takes out Neversauce. They do lose the Vladimir. They're going to take a turn in response. Heiko has slain Usurper. Just 2 remaining here. In the meantime, Fiora going ham on these inhibitors. Going to be able to take that down. Could get very dangerous. Array turns it around, does manage to catch him with a snap trap, but is going to fall here. But the whole time, this Fiora is just slowly whittling down. They are going to do some significant damage to these Nexus turrets. Are not going to be able to complete it, but now they have an inhibitor down. Now they have an opening in the base.
Oh my lord, it's like Neversize listening into our conversation. Neversize like, oh, you don't know why I built Frozen Heart? I bet. And I'm just going to flash in there and then just rip apart everybody, and then the rest of the team is just going to go in. But then little did we know that Fiora was actually up the whole time going, and taking out the inhibitor, taking out the Nexus Tower, and Brissy was seeing that with this third eye, went right back, coming in there, had to just take away any sort of pressure Fiora was putting out on that game. They were able to close it out, but still that's a mighty lead going out from the Entourage. They are now 2K up. They might be 1 dragon behind, but they are feeling like they're going to close this game super close, or they're going to close out this game very soon.
Yeah, you might have been able to stop the main engage force, but that's the problem with the siege compositions, with the compositions that like to have that split pusher like the Fiora in the side lanes, is even if you do decide to commit, you do decide to answer and have the 5 versus 4, but now you've got Fiora split pushing up in the top lane. Who's going to answer that? Who's strong enough to answer that? Anyone who's strong enough to answer that needs to be in that team fight.
And gotta hand it out to Brissy there. Potentially just saved them from that game. Brissy probably backed so fast. He manifested backing faster than the actual recall animation could have gone off. He was right there saving that game. So props to the boy. He might have had a rough time in the lane. 100 farm down, so it's looking really well for the Fiora, but he's like, I'm not giving up. I got to defend this game with my life. So big props and shouts out to the boy right there.
Yeah, what is Ornn but just a Goku, right? That's an instant transmission right there if I ever saw one. And I'm sure that you could probably get the line for the Kamehameha to line up with the Call of the Forge God, right? Right.
Oh my
Oh,
God.
and Injustice caught out in a dangerous spot is going to manage to get the parry. There's the Call of the Forge God I was talking about, as well as that Emo Plague. It's going to be 3 versus 1. Oh, they're going to pop the Guardian Angel. 4 versus 1. Injustice in a rough spot. I don't think you're getting out of this one, buddy, no matter how good you are. Oh my God.
Wait a minute. No, the
That
raid
was
boss is
close.
down. What is the kindergarten class going to do with this? The raid boss is finally down. They are going to want to take as much as they can. Everybody backing, trying to save their base from dying.
You
They
committed 5 members. You took down the raid boss, but you committed 5 members, and now the rest of the team is going to be shredding through your base. That is the difficulty of dealing with these siege comps with this split push. They are going to take a tower in turn to slightly even things out, but looks like they're actually sort of trying to set up an ambush here in the jungle. There is no vision on them. They do have 1 red ward. They are going to walk over that, unfortunately reveal themselves. But Diego's going to be well aware of their presence here. Gawr going to walk away. This dragon could be very, very important for our red side, for the kindergartners.
We have 5 seconds left on the Fiora. What is kindergarten doing right now? They want to take as much as they can. They want this dragon. Gimme, gimme, gimme. Mine. They need this so bad.
Oh,
Fire
here
dragon
comes
is
the
massive.
teleport. It is now going to be the full engagement. Blue team takes the dragon away. That's going to go over to the Xin Zhao. Call the Forge God goes to the team. It does not get bounced back. The Ornn is rooted. They're going to all surround the raid boss. Double kill over to this Diego. They're going to explode Brissy in exchange, but hey, you're trading your tank for the raid boss. I am absolutely down for that kind of trade. They're going to try and commit in here. Bobo's just so low. They are going to take him out. High Cosmo going to be the one.
my.
That's 2. Shut down. That's going to be the full team ace.
Oh, it might have been the Entourage stealing away that dragon, but the kindergarten class just got super angry, and they were going to take away that. Heiko said, no, I am sniping you, and we are taking away the team. If you guys are taking our dragon, we are going to take the rest of your base. And by the rest of the base, I mean the start of your base. They're running it down mid right now.
Yeah, Heiko's going to be able to do a lot of damage. Actually doesn't commit to the inhibitor, which is a bit of a surprise for me. I would have figured they would have taken inhibitor, maybe the bottom lane tower, but no. They're going to make the call to back up. They're going to start pinging out the Baron. Xin Zhao is in fact up, but isn't aware, is trying to defend the base, so it looks like there's not going to be any defense. So that's going to be Baron over to the kindergartners.
The kindergartners are gotta take everything now. They said, okay, you took our dragon. Well, fine. We are going to take the Baron.
Take the Baron, take your base, take your teams, take as much gold as we can. So much pressure. Big gold swing here over. Now looking at the gold amounts here, 69 to 73. Huge,
Nice.
huge in favor of the kindergartners.
Yeah, that was crazy. The Entourage had a little bit of a lead there, and they were stacking up, but the kindergartner class said, nope, we are taking that gold lead right back. And now they're in a massive spot, 4K ahead. 3 dragons, though. The next dragon's going to be sold, and that is going to be so fat, especially for literally everybody on that side. But especially the Xin and the Fiora, they are going to be looking mighty if they can get that dragon soul.
We are down into the later stages of the game. To my amazement, High Cosmo is in fact not level 18, is still sitting on that level 17, hasn't quite reached his final form. But for the most part, you can see a lot of 18s across the map. Looks like Soulpan hasn't quite hit that point either, but you know, that's just the jungler life. You're constantly behind everybody. Supports as well. But for the most part, your solo laners are hitting their 18s, your junglers are starting to hit their 18s, your AD carries are starting to hit their 18s. You're just now getting into that late stages of the game where the Vladimir and the Fiora are so terrifying.
Oh yes, anything can happen at this point of the game. And oh my lord!
Aiko just melts the Caitlyn, not able to respond at all. Array in a dangerous spot. In the meanwhile, Brissy forced to flash over the wall as Injustice continues to push. Is going to fall back towards the base. He's going to back here because they need that Fiora. They're not going to be able to continue that outward pressure here. Sparenbuff doing wonders for them. A lot of damage onto Sulpan, forced to commit the Crescent Strike. Here comes Call of the Forge God. Is going to go through Injustice. Will parry it, but that's not going to be enough. Heiko on a rampage. Now in the back lines, we see Gawr trying to pick up another one in the backside.
Oh
Double
my
kill for the
goodness.
Fiora. He is still the raid boss, and they did commit so much on this engage. Looks like it's going to come down to, can you stun up the Vladimir? Shutdown goes over to Array. They are able to defend the base. They end up losing an inhibitor and a tower for it.
We have so many second lives this game. As soon as the game looks like it's over, someone from the other team is like, we cannot let this happen. We are going into a 41-minute game right now. Still anybody's game. Very close. And I just got to give a shout out to Heiko there. Literally stopping time. I don't know what is going on. Somebody put Tom Brady's compound V in this guy's water, because dude is just threading the needle right now and is just going in there, getting these kills instantly, backing off. Unfortunately, not able to secure the win right there, but this is looking like a super intense game.
I think it could all come down to this next dragon, so we do see that it will be spawning shortly and the teams are moving out into position. It'll be a bit difficult in that top lane. They do have the TP on the Ornn, so they will be able to send the Ornn to catch the wave, make sure that it's not crashing into their own lane, but it does mean that the Ornn is going 1 versus 1 with this Fiora.
And maybe with this late into the game, this could be a somewhat even matchup. We all know that Fiora is the raid boss deep down, though. I mean, let's be real. Fiora can shred through just about anybody that she wants to. Oh my goodness!
There's this time High Cosmo may be caught out. Sulpan does manage to pick up the jungler. That's huge. Means you're gonna have to stall and wait for that jungler. Meanwhile, on the other side of the map, Injustice is just tearing through Hellbars, but does manage to go down. As that Guardian Angel will stay alive a little bit longer. The heal block is going to go down. Blue team's going to pick up the dragon. That's going to be right down for the Vladimir with that Infernal Soul bonus. Such a difficult position.
Fiora got the Infernal Soul but was not able to get away, and now the kindergarten class are going straight to the throats. Oh wait, no, one of them is backing.
Someone has to answer. Someone has to block. Now they're in a very difficult spot where they have to defend. It is just going to be Phobos. Doesn't have the most wave clear, unfortunately, on that Karma. A lot of a very defensive profile on that champion. They do have enough champions here back. High Cosmo looking for an opening. We did see the dash forward, not going to manage to find it.
The kindergarten class really needs to make something happen here. Now that the soul is going out to the Entourage, they are ready to end this game, but the kindergarten class needs to make something happen here. If nothing happens here, then it's probably game over, but they still have a good shot. This is probably the game-winning fight right here.
We still the jungler up. We do see the Jin Zhao. Sulpan does commit Crescent Strike, not able to completely turn things around. They're forced to back away. Kindergarten's forced to back up. They do have their jungler coming in now, but they do have to contend with the regenerating health bars over on the other side, as well as that Infernal Soul, trying to push things in with these with the inhibitor down. Sulpan taking a ton of damage. The culling comes out. Heiko not quite enough damage. Big chunks out of that final spark, but not enough to put that Lucian down. They're gonna stay on the map.
And it's looking like potentially 2 disengages from both teams. They traded ultis. Kind of looked like an uneven trade and very in favor of the class, but with the Entourage right next to their base, they're just able to instantly heal up, and it looks like both disengages. So now that the kindergarten class is looking for bot side.
Do manage to get Injustice out of there, so they will commit. Going to use that final spark just to try and clear some of the wave, so that tower can survive a little bit longer. That's not going to be quite enough. Of course, to have members retreat to go protect the base, they're going to have to give up another tower as the pressure continues to come in. Ooh, but damage onto High Cosmo, or Heiko, but not going to be able to follow up. Saucy, oh my goodness, this Caitlyn with the Inferno Soul is dealing so much damage with her abilities. Final Spark doesn't connect with anyone, no vision there, not able to connect. We do see Sulpan go in for the engage, trying to go in Gonna back away with the Vladimir using that pull, tries to engage, following up. Injustice goes down. That could be the death knell. We do see the culling come through. It culls one.
Oh!
There's the engagement here. He's gonna follow up with the orange triple kill. High Cosmo really pulling.
Oh my lord!
That's gonna be the ace. They're gonna give it to the Vladimir, and that's most likely going to be the game.
Wow! Oh my goodness. Fiora getting caught out there, and I just gotta say, we got 2 back-to-back strikes with the Nami ulti and the Ornn ulti. Giving it up to Sassy Chouse and Brissy. Well played going out to the kindergarten class at that final fight. That was the game-securing fight, and they very much dominated that fight, and they took the game.
I think at this point we agree this is the most terrifying kindergarten class I have ever seen. Absolutely fantastic job in stopping the split push, stopping the siege. That's the downside of the siege composition. Like, you do have a lot of great pressure when you're in the driver's seat, but as soon as you get kicked out, it's so hard to be able to turn things back around.
That was so crazy. That was coming out anyone's game there at that on those last about 10 minutes of that game. It was super intense. Whoever took away as many kills as they could pretty much had it. Got to give it up to both the lifesavers of that game. I believe it was Fiora for the Entourage almost at the end there when everyone was just going through the base, and it was just after Heiko went in for some nasty kills. Couldn't quite end it. And then before that, it was Brissy from the kindergarten class stopping the Fiora backdoor. Fiora was just going absolute bonkers up top lane while there was just a super big skirmish up in the mid lane. Brissy able to take that one out. And so saved that. And then up until the very end, it was just battle of the Titans. Who could get the game first? And the kindergarten class managed to have the upper hand there.
So we're going to go ahead. We're going to have a quick break here as we are waiting for the second game to finish, and then we will be back with the replays for game 2 as we watch these teams battle it out on Summit Esports. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Summit Esports Premier League Season 3. I am your hostess, Joanna, joined by Connor here. We're going to be going over Elend's Entourage against Gawr's kindergarten class here for Game 2. In Game 1, the kindergartners were able to take the first game away. And now we're going to go ahead. Is that who I think it is on the riff? I am excited. Okay.
Yo.
Give me a moment to just... Woo! Whew. So, people might be familiar with my particular love of Gawr. He was buffed in the most recent patch, thanks to changes to his spin, changes to his W. Going to be a lot more durable, stack a lot more up with his E. So Conqueror Gawr, really strong right now. So excellent choice there by Brissy in the top lane. Also a very strong pick just as a lane. Into that particular matchup with the Cassante because of what the all-out does to his health bar. We do see an engagement here. Sopan going to be taking a lot of damage. Very aggressive start here onto Gawr. Maybe a little too aggressive. First blood going to go over to LeBlanc of all things. Boba's now caught out between two members here. Gonna not have a ton of options for escape. Gawr is gonna back away. It's just auto attacks from this Lissandra because what are you going to do about it is karma. It's going to be one more auto. Never saw picks up the kill. That's going to be double for the LeBlanc this early in the game.
Oh, LeBlanc's going to be a monster with both his kills. I see a Doran's Blade too on LeBlanc. Are we going to see a AD crit LeBlanc? That's going to be massive.
Would be hilarious, but I don't think that's what we're going to see. I do see Brissy is going to back away here. You can cancel that E early, and sometimes that's a good idea, just so you can have that cooldown up faster. But my Garen advice aside, yeah, that LeBlanc is definitely going to be a scary champion. I think the Doran's Blade is just for the early game laning. I think that's just so that you have the consistency of the auto attacks, since LeBlanc is not necessarily going to be doing the huge amounts of wave clear and burst damage in the early stages of the game.
Especially against Karma. If Karma's going to be queuing that wave, then it's going to be pretty tough for LeBlanc to get those kills, or those minions, especially in the tower. So, yeah, having that extra AD is going to be super nice for her.
It's pretty calm early on here. We do see the engage by Sopan. Doesn't have any crowd control to land. Going to take a lot of damage in exchange, actually. Heiko also taking a ton, but Melio gonna back him up. Usurper pushing him away. Brissy, meanwhile, going in on this top side, and Justice gonna take a little damage, but not a ton.
You know, I'm kind of surprised they didn't take away Saucy's Nami. Saucy was especially saucy last game with the Nami, so we're gonna see round 2 from Saucy on the Nami. This is gonna be something else.
Saw how powerful of a champion that could be in the previous game. The tidal waves, great accuracy with the bubbles. Maybe not the highlight just because we were so focused on the top laners, but that was a pretty good support. Speaking of top laners, Brissy goes in pretty well. Does get knocked up by Injustice, but is going to maintain the lead. That's that wonderful, wonderful sustain of the champion. We do see in the bot lane things are getting pushed in a little bit. Doesn't manage to land the Q. Uh-oh. LeBlanc maybe caught out a little bit here. Forced to back away. Never saw is going to be able to get the root. There's the follow-up from Gawr. Oh, Phobos is so low. Is going to go down. Never saw another kill on that AD LeBlanc.
Oh.
There is the root up. They're going to shut the LeBlanc down, so Sopan going to pick one up for himself. Not going to be able to put out any more pressure than that. There is a lack of crowd control on this team. You have the LeBlanc roots and you have Injustice, and that's about it. That is a noon quiver going to be picked up this early. Oh my goodness.
You know,
yeah, okay, look at this LeBlanc build. That's a Courageous Shard, 2 long swords. This is AD LeBlanc. I believe we call it the LeBlanc.
That is nasty. I'm loving it. And just like an M. Night Shyamalan movie, never saw directed that perfectly. Right after Karma hit her with the snare, she was back for the surprise and sniping everybody point blank with those autos.
What a twist. Speaking of twisting, there's some spinning going on in the top lane. A lot of damage actually coming out onto Injustice here. Is going to be forced to back away again. the advantage of the sustain that the Garen does bring to the lane does mean that he gets to stick around a little bit longer than your average opponent if he doesn't just get poked down by ranged attacks. Looks like bot lane is going to back away. Oh my goodness, the LeBlanc continuing to put that damage down is going to back away. I mean, there's not really a great way to disengage the LeBlanc. Oh, Usurper very low on health right now. Is he continuing to push forward? Does have a minion advantage, but has an item disadvantage.
Brissy's not afraid. He does not care if you have items. He says, I'm going in there.
Heiko is going to pick up the elimination there. Brissy does manage to step away. Is going to take the Q damage. Stunned underneath the tower. There's the all-out. Brissy is going to be forced away. Such low health. Oh no, that's going to be the elimination. Injustice is going to pick up the kill. And that's why you have to be careful as the Garen, when you, or really as any champion, when you stick around as long as you do. The downside is that you don't have the item advantage. Oh my goodness, never saw going to pick up a Ray on the backside. Isn't even using any magic damage item.
Yeah, Neversaw is just, you know, A-clicking and then going back to the kitchen make a sandwich. But those quick pop-backs are super nice for LeBlanc. Just able to get in, auto-attack as many people as you want, and then get out. That's a AD carry's dream.
Oh, you know, I think I know what that item is being built for. I think that Courageous Shard is going to be built into a static shift, and you get the wave clear, help you match up into the Karma, give you a little more shove. Give you a little more wave clear. Could also be Cyclo Sword, as production is pointing out to me. And I'll be honest, like that's one of the few items that I don't remember off the top of my head. A little bit of damage there on the Heiko, not going to be able to follow up on it. Okay, good spin, just clearing out the wave. A lot of pressure from Injustice here. And based on the items, yes, most likely going to be the static shift. So I'm going to count that as a win for new production. This time.
That was an older build back last season when static shift got reintroduced and it was super broken. Looks like LeBlanc's gonna be going that, but I do see the Dark Seal, so
there's a little AP.
So we got some hybrid damage, yeah.
Once it's fully transformed into a static shiv, it'll be an AP damage item. It does magic damage on its proc. They remove the scaling? Okay, that's probably fair. Brissy continues to push forward.
To all the haters out there, though, if it looks stupid and it works, then it's not stupid. So hey, I mean, we see that LeBlanc's got a pretty good farm lead and has got 4 kills, so it's working wonders for them so far. If they can keep it up, then it's gonna be very interesting.
While we've been focused on the LeBlanc, other members have been coming through. Bit of a dangerous spot there. Ray is gonna pick up Heiko. Bit of an overshoot here. Gawr forced to back away. Sulpan commits the ultimate sleepy time. He's gonna just barely survive with a sliver of health. No, Sulpan's gonna take him out. They're gonna pick up a second one. Ray takes out Saucy as well. The LeBlanc is gonna get rooted up. Should be safe. Does still have the clone and the dash. He's not going to commit either of them. Meanwhile, in the top lane, commit a little bit there. Ooh. Doesn't get the double chains. Does end up missing that, but still puts down so much damage. If those chains had connected. While pressure in the top lane continuing to spin and Garen continuing to win, well, at least the shorter trades. Okay, we do see the engagement from Injustice trying to do something here. Does have the third stack. Not going to commit to that. Oh my goodness. The LeBlanc continuing to put down the pressure here. I mean, I gotta say, I'm loving this LeBlanc build. I'm loving that they're able to get it ahead so far. And that's why you gotta be careful when you do have those engages into the early game, because you never know if you have the crowd control that's necessary to pull it off.
We got a 1.5k gold lead here on the kindergartners now. With
coming on the backside, unstoppable, but they are going to do a ton of damage. He does decide to go out. Brissy forced to back away. His health bar is going to be shredded down to nothing, and Justice picks up another kill. Here's the TP. Blanc comes in. She's going to back away. All be good there. Overall, just one kill. Teleport is committed. Unfortunately, not going the way of the kindergartners.
Action up top, the Heiko and Saucy are going to want to try to push as much as they can. Looks like they're getting some damage, and it looks like they've taken a good chunk of the plates. They have a little bit more left if they're going to finish that, I believe, third plate.
Well, this has all been happening, though. Like these Void Grubs here that are being picked up by Blue Side, this is the first major objective they've had all game. Credit to Gawr. He's been around the map picking up these minor objectives, picking up the Void Grubs, picking up the first dragon for his team, and allowing his team to slowly create leads that way without ever having to pick these fights.
With how dominant he was too last game, I'm surprised that they let him get away with the Viego again.
Definitely, maybe you want to commit more to getting rid of the Fiora. I mean, I imagine that's why we're not seeing this in this game. Unfortunately, we did not get those draft files in time. Justice looking to commit, does have the full charge Q, does enable land it, gets rooted up, and just keeps taking on repeated hits. They are small hits. There's the static shiv that we were talking about.
Oh, it's gotta be so annoying right now, just taking all those little magic blasts to the face. And at first, after Never Saw got those plates, Justice was like, nah, I can't let you be getting away with that. But as soon as LeBlanc caught a little bit of some range, she was just right back in there. Oh, and as soon as the gap is closed, and Justice slapped him in the face, but doesn't really matter much for Never Saw, just able to dash away and create a larger gap.
Yeah, looks like it's actually going to be a temporary lane swap here. Just send the Garen down to catch the wave and let LeBlanc go ahead and pick up a little piece of that turret there. Garen is going to go ahead and go back to the lane now, keeping an eye on the junglers. We do see a little bit more pressure towards that bottom side of the map. Who are you going to go in for? You do have the speed. Teleport's being committed from behind. Injustice trying to cut the way off. That is an Ezreal. Tidal Wave goes through. Not able to slow them down. They are going to pick up a Ray on a killing spree now. Saucy going to get knocked back. That's going to be a double kill for a Ray.
This is like a whole restaurant that's just getting robbed. We have the kindergarten class taking away all these plates, stealing all the plates, and then the restaurant owners are just like backhands to the face, just getting everybody out of that store because they cannot accept that. All the towers are now coming out to their last plate, so it is looking like a pretty solid gold front. But with all the kills coming out from the Entourage, they're trying to even out that gold spread. So we've got just 1K. Oh, and with that tower down, the first tower, now that is 2K for the kindergarten class.
Gonna continue to put that pressure on. Looks like Brissy is actually going to back up Spence to the W a little early, but is putting out a decent amount of damage with that E. Does have backup in the meantime on the bottom side of the map. Oh my goodness, the damage coming out from this. Oh, from the deer. Oh, dear indeed. Sopan on a killing spree. Now they have all the pressure they need on this bottom side if they want to take that dragon.
The Entourage are just making away with these kills so cleanly, and now they're finally going to be able to take a tower of their own.
My brain seems to have temporarily forgotten the name of this deer, of this Servitor champion. Lilia. Lilia's her name. Thank you, brain. Sopan doing an excellent job piling the champion. Despite some mishaps early on, they're going to go ahead and grab themselves the second dragon. That's going to be a Cloud Soul. The Hex Gates are active. It's going to be a Hextech Dragon and a Hextech Soul.
With how behind they've been on these tower plates, it's got to feel good finally getting these objectives. Now they got the first tower. I believe they got the Void Grubs earlier. Now they are getting a dragon of their own, so this is looking super nice for the Entourage.
Pop. Pop. Just little auto attacks, and that's the obnoxious part about this playstyle, is that you have the dash to get away. It's hard to engage onto. Meanwhile, Sopan engages onto Saucy in a bad spot. They do commit the tidal wave, but Sopan on a rampage already picks up the elimination. TP's coming in from both top laners. Pressure is mounting here on this bottom side of the map. They really want that tower. looks like everything is just gonna pause all of a sudden. We do still have the LeBlanc in the bottom side, or bottom area, not gonna be able to follow up on that. Trying, putting out a lot of those little bonks, getting a lot of mileage out of that static shift. Oh, good damage on the Usurper. Here comes the Rift Herald, slams into the tower. That's going to be another one, and an elimination for the Ezreal. The pressure continues to mount. 3 versus 2 as we go into this engagement. Gawr is getting too low to follow up, but they are able to take one down with them. Nami's going to be the one who picks up that kill, but Sulpan unstoppable now, hopping into the Rift Herald. Doesn't quite manage to follow up on that charge, but is going to probably... Oh, Sulpan getting a little bit of a shield from the Karma. Maybe a bit of an overcommittal from LeBlanc. Oba's trying to find the opening. Does manage to dash away. Is going to survive. Tossing it. Oh, in the back line, the LeBlanc. You're never safe. You're never safe until she's dead.
Oh my god! Never saw us going crazy!
Never saw with a double, maybe even a triple at this point. What is this triple kill? So LeBlanc is gonna get shut down, but finally, oh my goodness, this LeBlanc is tearing through the team, and it's not even in huge bursts, it's just quiet little bonk, bonk, bonk over and over again, and that's why I call her the LeBlanc.
Looking so secure for the kindergarten class there, and then the Entourage was just able to pull out some kills and pull out some damage out of nowhere, and then this back and forth started happening where it was just looking super good for the Entourage, and then it was super good for the kindergarten class, and then super well played by Neversaw there, able to pop out and in at the brink of death and just able to take away these kills. That was very well played and able to secure a better position for the kindergarten class, now up 3k on the gold lead.
Okay, well now that you've got this LeBlanc stacking up, putting out huge numbers, what do you do in these situations? Brizzy trying to close the gap, doesn't have the speed to close in on a Lilia. It's going to be outnumbered 3-1, does flash over the wall. It looks like he is going to get to safety. Might be cut off here, but does have the team to back him up. Oh, rooted, but he is a Garen, is going to be able to back away. Will they commit the ultimate from the Lilia? They will not. Production has just informed us there is a 5k gold lead in the mid lane between the LeBlanc and the Karma. 5k.
Saw something similar happen last game with the Fiora. Fiora be able to go wherever she wanted, and now we're seeing that with the LeBlanc, with the static shiv and the Storm Razor. Oh my goodness, this is an 80 LeBlanc. This is something crazy, and she's just going wild.
Oh, there comes the ultimate. Sulpan trying to close in the damage, not able to get the W off thanks to that great tidal wave. Gonna go 2 versus 1, puts a lot of damage down, but does not have the safety to continue that. Neversaw forced to back away. It's gonna go, no, actually Sulpan picks up high. There we go, that's the shutdown. So they do shut down the LeBlanc and trade over that gold. Oh goodness. Gawr trying to find an opening here. Does not manage to seal things away, so Sulpan will continue to have that farm. Big shutdown on that for the Aphelios. Yes, I agree, chat. Gonna be a huge bunch of gold from that LeBlanc bounty.
We have all the kills just concentrated in all the right places on these teams. We have pretty much all the kills just thrown out onto the LeBlanc, onto the kindergarten class, and for the Entourage, they've got all their kills onto the massive Lilia and the Aphelios. And so they can really just concentrate this damage all onto one person and just completely obliterate anybody in a second.
Bruce got Barrage a little bit late there, so blue team and Entourage is going to pick up the dragon for themselves. They're going to lose a tower in exchange, but maybe not necessarily the worst exchange in the world. You are going to get more of that. Looks like it's going to be, yeah, it is the Hex Tech, so I mentioned that earlier. We're going to get that over on their side. Going to be useful for their auto attackers. Usurper trying to fall back. Cozy Campfire does a little healing. Oh, but the LeBlanc continues to bonk. Is going to be forced to flash away. Tidal wave comes through. He's going to ward them off. Neversaw in a dangerous spot. Is going to brought down Array on a killing spree now. AD carry being used to answer the maybe not so AD carry here. Forced back. The pressure starting to mount on the mid lane. Saucy is able to dodge out that trigger, or part of the trigger seed. And it looks like, yeah, they're just going to go ahead and grab a tower for themselves. There's not going to be a whole lot they can be answered in response. A lot of poke coming out. But it looks like they are going to start to begin the retreat here.
Yeah, it is very scary getting anywhere close to this blue team right now, and they are just going to have to let that tower go down. Going to be a little bit of a reset now from the blue side. If red team can get some wards onto the Baron, they might be able to set something up. That's going to be that's going to be probably what they need to take away this game right now. With whatever lead they have going on, if they can somehow secure a good fight and the Baron, that can be a potential game winner and or if not an inhibitor.
It is now 17-10. Looks like most of the lanes are pretty equal in terms of their pushing, although you can see that a few more towers have been taken on one side than the other. Gonna go ahead and fight over the scuttle here. It is gonna go over to Lilia. So, not gonna commit there. The LeBlanc keeps on doing her LeBlanking thing. Phobos gonna take a lot of damage. The LeBlanc is going to be forced to retreat, so she will back off here. At least for the time being, until she has another wave. And again, we're seeing a very similar strategy that we did in the first game, where you can afford to commit that top laner. Although in this case, they're using their mid laner as their split pusher because LeBlanc is such a safe champion to do so on. So they are going to use that just for a little extra healing. Gawr is going to back out as well as the collapse comes in. Meanwhile, on the other areas of the map, members are still there. Dodges the trigger seed, but in exchange is going to take an auto attack. Should be able to dodge out of the way. They do commit the ultimate sleepy time. Gawr is able to get out. Thankfully, going to use a little bit of the damage that he took to get out of that ultimate. Otherwise, they're going to be unharmed. Backup is here, and they're going to force the Entourage to retreat.
The two scary carries trying to get as much as they can, but really well played from the red team. They're able to flash away and get away from the huge damage dealers. And we got a 1v1 skirmish happening in the bot lane.
Brissy getting some good damage down. The silence does do a great job. The unstoppable goes through, but that doesn't stop the spin. He's going all out. Brissy in a bit of a dangerous position here. Does commit the ult, but maybe it's a little too early. Dives underneath the tower, shut down, and Justice picks up the Garen. My heart sinks.
Brissy, from what I know, is definitely more on those tankier top laners, but seeing him on the Garen is just making me it's making me go crazy because he is just all in there now. I'm loving it. He is ready for the action. So not able to get that solo kill, but his heart's in there.
Yeah, he's also got a CS lead there, going on 30 CS, so even if he isn't getting all of the kills, he is still proving to, he's still allowing himself to scale. It's actually going to pick up the Force of Nature just because that magic resist is so useful, especially in the Lilia matchup. That champion is very good at dodging around the Juggernaut sort of champion. Igo's going to get caught out by the red trinket. Going to be forced to back away. Takes a little bit of damage from a trigger seed, but will not be caught out. Looks like they're going to retreat. The dragon is going to be coming up soon. It is continuing to be the Hextech dragon, which is why you see those Hextech gates on the rift here. Damage starting to come out. The dragon comes out of the pit just as a result of the trigger seed. Was initially going to aggro, but it looks like it will reset here as they're going to slowly go onto it. Well, that's going to be a teleport from Garen on the backside. He's going to try and come in and join his team, be the front line. Ultimate goes through. Trying to find an opening here onto this dragon. The engage on the back line is just doing so much damage here. Blue team is going to pick up the dragon. Looks like they're going to try and retreat at this point. Heiko is going to take some damage. Soulpan is up in the face. His flash committed. Array on a rampage now takes out the Garen. Soulpan takes out Saucy. And now Gawr is trying desperately to get away, caught by the trigger seed. That's going to slow him down. Double kill to the Ezreal. Oh, Gawr, you're in a bad spot, buddy. Oh, might him to finish him off. Sopan on a killing spree, and it's just never saw against the world does not have the ability to 1 versus 4. I don't think, even if you are that fed. That's probably going to be Barrett.
Yeah, that was a really good fight for the Entourage right there. Keeping the Lilia away from the entire team and also keeping her onto the dragon was smart. Rest in peace for the Amelia. Taking all the damage there. But not able to take away that Aphelios and that Lilia is just meaning that they're going to get free reign on your team and being separated from that dragon. I don't think that they needed to stay onto that entirely, and they were too afraid of letting it go. And it was a commitment that costed them a lot of lives, and unfortunately costed them a Baron as 2. Very well played from the Entourage here, now taking a super fat lead onto the Dragons with only actually 500 on the gold, but they have so many kills across the board that it is just looking like a slaughter fest.
Be looking like a slaughter fest, but all things considered, the gold is fairly even. There has been there still has been gold advantages on the other side, even if most of it is concentrated into that LeBlanc. They're doing an excellent job of picking up their farm, gathering up the resources that they need. Maybe not all of the farm necessarily going into Entourage's banks. Great Q damage. That is the power of that Triforce Spellblade. Never saw caught out. Gonna be surrounded and shut down. LeBlanc is not completely invincible at escaping.
No, she's not. And especially when you have all that range coming out there and the movement speed from the Lilia, they have so many tools to deal with the LeBlanc. So if they're ready for the tricks, then they are ready to take it away from her. And with all the gold being on her, if she's out of the fight, then there's not going to be much left from the kindergarten class to do to defend away from the Aphelios and the Lilia power.
So looking at this stage of the game, it looks like there is going to be a lot more pressure going up towards the red side of the map. Gawr is going to go ahead and intercept that wave. So if you are Entourage, how do you close this out? Like, you've got all the kills, yes. You've got the dragons. Do you just wait on Soul? Do you try and force something here? What do you do as Entourage?
They need to stay together like they have been doing for the most of the game and not get picked. And if they can get one more team fight wherever it is, then they are able to secure out this game. What they need to do is just force a little bit of pressure. It looks like they're doing that with Cassante at the top. Keeping the Garen away from the fights while he's a huge damage dealer too is going to be important for Entourage.
Can't get your squishies burst if there's no Garen in the match. Percy having a hard time. Did have to build tank item second. It looks like he's going to be building a second tank item as well. Probably going to be that Dead Man's Plate. Red turret is going to be destroyed, unfortunately. It's Soulpan on a rampage. Take with the Q. Huge chunk of damage. Eliminates a foe. Percy is trying to bring down Injustice, who's actually going to go forward. Gawr going to try and cut him off here. Does have the stun. They get him. He is unstoppable temporarily. Gets silenced. Not going to take a ton of damage from this Garen. Triforce is great, but it's not going to be that much. He's going all out. Prissy in a dangerous spot. Dives underneath the tower to survive. Gawr trying to back him up, but there's 4 members surrounding them. They're going to continue pressuring this tower.
Looking like a rough spot there from the kindergarten class. The Entourage was putting as much pressure as they would mid lane, and they got 2 towers out of it. And I think the kindergarten class realized that there wasn't much they could do, so they tried to make a sneaky play up top. But with Cassante being as tanky as they are, was able to just ignore everything. Didn't even drop a half health, I believe.
Soulpan unstoppable picks up another kill. This LeBlanc sort of seems like she's falling off as we get later into the game. The downside of not having the same kind of in-combat mobility as the Lilia.
Yeah, definitely falling off a little bit. Getting picked out a couple more times too. Lilia is now catching onto the tricks and is now starting to be ahead of the mind games when it comes to LeBlanc.
10-2 and 7 Soulpan. We've seen him master so many different games and so many different characters. It's not a huge surprise to me to see that he's doing as well as he is. Huge chunk of damage coming from the Ezreal's True Shot Barrage. Garen on the back lines. Looked like someone went over the wall. Just gonna scare them away. They're gonna pick up this dragon, and that's gonna be Soul.
Oh, that is looking so massive for Entourage. So now that they have the Hex Tech, even and now they also have a 3K gold lead, is looking like a slaughterfest. And I don't know how the kindergarten class is going to deal with this. If they are going to want to come back, they are going to make they're going to have to make some massive plays. They're going to have to get like a huge Baron call, and they're also going to have to get the Elder Dragon if they're going to want to win this.
Oh, you've got a LeBlanc with a static shiv? Well, now our entire team has a static shiv effect. And it's better, and it's stronger, and neener. As this Dragon Soul is going to be a huge impact on the game. Sopan may be in a bit of a difficult spot. There is Silence, caught out by 2. Does have the movement speed to be able to get away from Brissy. Doesn't have a stride breaker to slow him down. They are going to still be in a 2 versus 1, but look at the damage output. Oh dear, indeed. They're going to turn that around. Array picks up a double kill as they collapse on that top side.
You know, for a second, sometimes with all the animations and the new skins, I kind of like get confused with who the champion was, and seeing the Garen spin on top of Lilia, for a minor second, I thought it was Cassante, and with all that damage being negated, I was like, oh, you know, that makes sense, it's Cassante. But then I noticed it was Lilia, and I was like, oh no, it's looking rough, so there goes Saucy. Rest in peace. Another skirmish for LeBlanc. LeBlanc trying to keep it up.
Array continuing along. Phobos is actually going to be the one who gets the kill. The campfire is going to keep that Felios healthy. In the meantime, Sopan's just hanging out in the top lane, pressing that right click, getting that tower down.
It is looking like a slow death for the kindergarten class with another tower going up top. They are hoping that they can pull something together, hopefully a miracle if they're going to want to make this game come back. You have Elder Dragon coming up in 3 minutes.
I want to say, like, High Cosmo was doing incredible in the previous game, but Lucian clearly suited his taste. In this game is all about Array, all about this, all about the way that they're playing around this Aphelios and just funneling kills into him, getting him nice and fed, and just is not afraid to use these hex gates to go into dangerous places without ward. They are starting up the Baron. This 4 versus 3 in this scenario. The Ezreal and the LeBlanc are not there. Oh, there we go. 3-shot barrage through there. There's a lot of damage from the knockout. Blue team takes the Baron. They're going to trade one out for it. Or no, they're actually going to pick up one. Objective bounty is claimed for the Garen, but Brissy is maybe in a bit of a bad spot, not going to be able to escape. Sopan dominating now, 11, 2, and 10 on this deer. Injustice to go ahead and slow down that wave a little bit with that Frostborn Gauntlet, but in the meantime, Saucy, oh my gosh, I barely saw his health bar fall. Like he was deleted instantly by 2 shots. Meanwhile,
absolutely removed from the game, and that looks like that is going to be the game taken out from the Entourage. We are now coming up 1-1 even and going to game 3 of the series.
I am excited for our 3rd game of the series. We saw the adaptations. We saw these teams go at each other blow for blow in the first game. Things a little more even this time around, but you see the potential that these players have to pull things out. And every single one of these players is having an impact on the game. It's just so fantastic to watch.
Entourage did so well at keeping all the gold and the power on that Aphelios and on that Lilia, and they just did a crazy job at nonstop snowballing and running through that game like nothing.
Now that we've gone ahead and gone through game 2, we have a 3rd game coming up. We'll be most likely taking a short break while we wait for those replays to be available. But in the meantime, feel free to feel free to hit those follow buttons or subscribe to us. We really appreciate it here at Summit Esports. We will go ahead and see you in game 3.
Spiel mit Bauklötzen. Ich mauere mit Steinen vorsichtig. Es ist wie das Spiel mit Bauklötzen. Ich sehe meinen leeren Baukasten an. Du brichst meine Mauer arglos mit schmutzigen Händen. An jenem Tag weiß ein feuriges Abendrot. Ich versteckte die Bauklötze vor dir. Traurige Erinnerung an meine Kindheit. Ist das der Zerstörer oder der Schöpfer? Mit der Glut des Holzes schwenken wir die Schwerter. Ist das unser Schicksal oder unser Wille? Wir werden kämpfen, bis dieser heiße Wind unser Beflügel nimmt. Es ist wie das Spiel mit Bauklötzen. Ich mauere mit Steinen vorsichtig. Es ist wie das Spiel mit Bauklötzen. Ich sehe meinen leeren Baukasten an. Du brichst meine Mauer arglos mit schmutzigen Händen. Ich tu nichts in dem Osten. Ich will nichts verlieren. Ich versteckte die Bauklötze vor dir. Ich mauere wieder mit Steinen
Do manage to disengage. There's vision in the pit. There's the call and Professor Recall, or pardon, PhD. Do manage to disengage. There's vision in the pit. There's the call and Professor Recall, or pardon, PhD in a call.
Silas has entered
Godlike
godlike
mode.
mode.
It's a steal! Great play there by the Zac, able to steal that away as the West Stop pops in the pit. This area on a killing spree, double kill on this opponent. Unstoppable force manages to knock up one. They do take out Soulpad. Veritel picks up X-Ray now. Boomers are just taking kills left and right as Joseph Hat not quite as invincible as they were in the first game.
Oh gosh.
They do manage to disengage. There's vision in. They do manage to disengage. There's vision in the pit. There's the call and Professor Recall, or pardon, PhD in a call.
Silas has entered
Godlike
godlike
mode. It's a
mode.
steal! Great play there by the Zac, able to steal that away as the West Stop pops in the pit. This area on a killing spree, double kill on this opponent. Unstoppable force manages to knock up one. They do take out Soulpad. Veritel picks up X-Ray now. Boomers are just taking kills left and right as Joseph Hat not quite as invincible as they were in the first game.
Oh gosh.
I can't remember the last time I've actually seen someone dab at all.
I saw it on the History Channel the other day.
Oh, really?
It was crazy. I was like, wow, they really knew how to dance back in the
Oh,
day.
Ancient Aliens?
Ancient Aliens.
Oh my gosh.
Again, this time though, gets the passive up early and is starting to do some serious damage. As soon as he comes out, push back into the pass. 2 versus 1, he's still alive. That Kingslayer and Exhaust are able to survive just a little bit longer. Good forces out the flash. There's a root. Teleport down from the top lane if the top laners are now down here. Let's bounce in the middle of the team. Bars are low. Subjugates the X-Ray. Picks up an elimination for himself, and now here's Hysteria. That's the Inferno trigger. Oh my goodness, it's Samira potentially cleaning up. There's the triple. Saved by the Immortal Shield Bow. That's the Quadra. And that's the ace.
They didn't ban Samir.
Look at X-Ray. He's taking 2 towers right now. He's taking 2 towers. He is forced to retreat because he's taking too much. Hysteria unstoppable. Inferno trigger just for the style play. 21, 3, and 6. That Samira is incredible.
Here, especially kudos to Hysteria for that last performance on his signature Samira. Wouldn't expect anything less of him on that champion. Absolutely amazing how he pulled it out of the hat right there. Yeah, and we have found ourselves.
Yo, man, look at me, man. I got on the jewels. Look at my shoes, man. I'm sharp. Man, I look good. I look good. I look exactly the way you wish you could. I look good. I look good. Come on. I'm in love with a girl that I call old school. Sipping on my brandy, I'm feeling brand new. Got the feather in my hat because I'm just that cool. You peeping at my alligators bent kinda slow. They peeping at me pimping cause I got all the game. And even if the day change, it's all the same. You rolling up the block, but you in the wrong lane. You hating on a brother, man, you must be insane. I look good. I look good. I look exactly the way you wish you could. I look good. I look good. Come on. I look good. I look good.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Summit Esports Premier League Season 3 match between Elend's Entourage and Gawr's kindergarten class. I am your hostess, Joan, joined again by Connor here to call all the action in Game 3. The game is all tied up. The match is tied. It looks like Injustice is going to manage life as it's 5 evade slips into the jungle.
Oh, we got the Nautilus too. I love this. We have the hook, and they are ready to get some action going here. I like that they're going to the top side too. They're going for a little bit more of a sneaky play.
Looks like they're not going to pick up anything else here. They're just going to put down a ward so they have a little more vision in the jungle. They are going to be spotted out as they move back to their positions here.
Okay. Damn,
We
they
have
didn't
an
get
option.
anything. It's always cool going out for a sneaky play. I'm a blitzcrank player, so whenever I'm invading, I like to go into the blue side. That's normally where you'd see junglers getting their leash from their bot laners, but their kindergarten class was hoping to find something up at the top side. Nothing quite massive going on, but they were able to put a ward down, which is good. Maybe they might get a counter invade going on later on the Heca Rim.
Well, let's go ahead and take a moment to talk about this draft here. We do see the engage here on the Vi mid lane. That is an unusual choice. We don't usually see Vi as a laner.
Yeah, that is a super interesting pick. Neversaw has been picking the most unconventional picks lately, trying to, spark something that we might have never seen before. And last time we did notice that there was 4 AD versus a Cassante, and now we have seen a little bit more of a spread. We have Mordekaiser now on AP with 3 other AD versus we have Varus and Hecarim for AD. Orin pretty tanky, but then so we have some good spread. But yeah, it's definitely something that we've never seen before. A Vi in the lane, that's pretty crazy.
Yeah, I do still think that there's a lot of value for things like the Frozen Heart, just because Mordekaiser is also an auto attacker. I'm a little just kind of questioning to myself, like, why the Vi mid here? What is the advantage of the Vi? Certainly, you do have a lot of pressure. You're going to get caught by a charm underneath the tower. Neversaw going to take a lot of damage, forced to back away, burning through those potions already. That is the downside of the melee versus ranged matchup, especially if that wave can get frozen under the tower.
We might see Vi permanently bot lane too, since Vi's got a good engage and Varus doesn't really have much going on for him other than flash. There could be a chance that Vi is just permanently camping bot lane as a mid laner.
I mean, there's a lot of engage down there with the Nautilus there and a lot of damage follow-up from the Misfortune, so there's definitely plenty of opportunities. Of course, if they're going to keep them pushed up like this, we do see the engage. Hook is going to land. It looks like that's going to be a Pardon Glacial. Oh, Neversaw, you're in a bad spot. Caught out. First Blood's going to go over to the Hecarim. Does burn the Ghost there, but in exchange, they pick up a flash and a kill.
Soulpan coming in full speed from the back. There is no escaping it. It does not matter if you are Vi with a punching dash. You are going to die to the Hecarim.
What I quite enjoyed about that is they had some good coordination there. The Body Slam actually carried him into the Charm hitbox, just to guarantee that they would make sure to have that crowd control.
Yeah, a massive charm and finishing it off too. Not able to take away the kill though, but Hecarim with the kills is going to be a monster.
We do see Dragon's going to be coming up shortly. We haven't had an opportunity to look over the Dragon Pit yet to see what it will be, but It will certainly start having an impact on the Rift as soon as these teams are ready to start pushing resources towards it. Injustice has been chunked out a little bit, only has a biscuit left here. No potions left on this Mordekaiser, so he's done a pretty good job of sustaining for himself, all things considered.
We got some action going up at the top lane. We have both the Vi and the Nocturne looking to gank out the Hecarim. And this is right before Dragon's coming up.
Okay. Looks like they split up. We do see the Dredge line falls onto Usurper. Is going to take a half of his health from between the two champions. Tons of damage here. We do see the Hecarim coming in from the backside, trying to close in on Brissy. Does manage to flash away, has the Vi coming up around the backside. Call of the Forge God goes through. There's the knock up onto the Vi. They're going to put a ton of damage. That is an unstoppable Ornn, but isn't quite so unstoppable. You put a ton of damage into him. Soulpan's going to pick up. Never saw Brissy doing his best to follow up, but unfortunately Mordekaiser are not the kind of fast champion to follow up, so that is going to be a 1-for-1 trade.
Soulpan just drifting out of there. Goodbye, taking the kills. That was a good comeback there for the kindergarten class, able to pick up a kill, but it was Soulpan getting out of there that made it more worth for the Entourage.
We did see the teleport up so that we can see Ornn back into lane here. Bobo's watching over the wall. This Mordekaiser tries to take out the Void Grubs. Maybe going to answer that here. You see Saucy trying to find a good position. Flashes forward. Doesn't hit the Dredge line, but does get the stun onto Usurper. Hecarim coming around the backside. Gonna try and aim for the body slam. Shoves him into a wall. Saucy is going to be taking so much damage. Ray is going to pick up that one. One more for the AD carry. Meanwhile, Vi coming around the backside. This game is going to get bloody. Shut down onto the Hecarim. That's huge for this Vi mid. She's going to be everywhere. Locks on with the Assault and Battery. Goodbye, Usurper. Heiko's going to pick up that one. And oh my goodness, we are starting to see why this Vi can be such a terror.
She's been keeping her eye on bot lane, and I was going to say that what's really a good benefit for Hecarim is as soon as you see an engage going out from an aggressive support, just like Nautilus, that you have plenty of time to eat and answer up.
They're going to try and commit to a huge tower dive. It looks like it did unfortunately end up failing. Soulpan's going to reap the benefits of this one. Never saw is actually putting out so much damage. The armor shred is going to try and turn back around. Array just out of range. Shut down is going to go back over to the Hecarim. So he's going to gallop himself on over to this dragon, which is probably going to go the way of Entourage.
This dude never stops. His eyes are glued on the map. I swear, Soulpan has his third eye wide open, taped open. This dude sees everything, and he's got the movement speed to back it up.
Okay, but can he see why kids love Cinnamon Toast Crunch?
He might as well. He's probably got a perma TF ulti going on. It doesn't even matter.
Potentially. Brissy is going to get shoved backwards here. Injustice has the wave, does have the ability to try and dive for that, but that could be dangerous since the Mordekaiser pull is still available. There it goes. It's going to be off on cooldown for a while. They actually didn't go for the dragon, decided not to follow up on. Maybe the health bar is a little too low.
Delicious.
Still in the early stages of the game. We're starting to see some of those ultimates come out. Like we mentioned earlier, Call of the Forge God, Assault and Battery. Looks like bottom lane pressure is starting to mount here. Heiko doing the best they can to put out that damage here, shove that lane in.
They're shoving, but I don't see a lot of blue side around right now. And funny enough, we have a dragon up. No one's just paying attention to dragon. We do have a scuttle on it, but other than that, it doesn't seem like anyone's preparing for anything big around it.
Yeah, TP back to the mid lane, not even using it for anything aggressive like we did earlier in those top laners in the last two games. Trying to find opportunities. Heiko is going to ward them off with the Make It Rain, so they're not going to commit onto anything. Speaking of Call of the Forge God, they are going to catch onto the Ornn. Tons of damage! Oh my goodness, the Bellows Breath does get the proc. Does he have enough damage? Is going to pick it up. Injustice plays Brissy. That tank has way too much damage.
It looks like while that entire top fight was happening, Vi was in the enemy jungle that entire time just waiting, but not able to make anything happen.
The onslaught of shadows comes through. Array is playing Saucy Josh. He's going to be forced to back away. But they do manage to throw a bullet time out there, but doesn't pick anything out. This Hecarim is terrifying, ripping through his team. Can he even keep up with his pace? And now they're going to set on to this dragon.
You know, it was really hard for me to see. I don't know if the Hecarim knew that the Vi was inside the jungle, but as soon as she backed off, then him and the rest of the squad just ran it down bot lane and were able to take those kills and secure the dragon. This Hecarim's really just got this game just in his favor. I don't know how he's able to just instinctively know.
He's still going.
Oh
Look
God,
at him go. This Salt and
not
Battery does
stop.
turn things around. Soulpan taking a lot of damage. He's forced to back away. Never saw is going to be the one to pick up the kill. Bobo's forced to retreat back underneath the tower, but they are going to pick up a kill onto the Soulpan. Turn that over. Maybe a little too much aggression.
The All-Seeing is now no longer omnipotent. He has been humbled and taken out and now is coming back, but he's quick. He's returning to this game and he's going to try to be a fear again.
I mean, he's got the pace. I mean, looking at the CS difference here. The Nocturne's been farming all game, right? That's the Nocturne standard. So the Hecarim knows he only has so much time before this Nocturne's out and on the Rift. They're going to pick up the Void Grubs here for the Nocturne.
Completely uncontested too. Nocturne just taking it like nothing, you know?
One, picks up a second, probably going to pick up a third, no problem. This is Nocturne we're talking about. They are going to pull all of the Void Grubs away. Get all of those wonderful, juicy little bonuses there. As the pressure continues to mount, we do see Saucy looking for the dredge line, does not find it, does get locked up by the chains. Gonna commit the ultimate, unstoppable, trying to get the onslaught of shadows through. Soulpan not finding an opening this time.
Yeah, he was. I wonder if Saucy actually hit that hook, it would have been more time for Soulpan to get in there, but you know,
Could be a very dead usurper though.
So silver lining in the clouds, I guess. Worked out pretty well for the kindergartens there. Soulpan is just able to get on there. Oh, and here's
Ooh,
Nocturne.
there we go. There's the commit over the wall, but what is he going to commit to? The Ornn just backs away.
Ornn don't even care. He's not even worried. Look, he's even got more damage on Brissy right now.
Ornn does what he wants. Phobos is also in the backside. No Honey Badger skin for Ornn yet, but they are going to get the charm down onto Brissy. They're going to pick that elimination up and give it over to Phobos. Meanwhile, Neversaw is going to continue striking down that mid lane turret, pick up a couple of those plates for themselves, and we see, oh no, here comes Soulpan closing down onto Gawr. He's going to continue putting him down. This Hecarim is putting out so much pressure. Flash forced out. It's going to get over the wall. I feel bad for this Nocturne. It's been a world of difference between the two junglers because they're just trying to find an opening. Depth Sense. His dredge line is going to miss out, forcing Heiko to be split up from Saucy. They're going to take him out. That's going to go over and shut down to that Janna, and they're just going to chase Saucy down. I don't think Saucy has what he needs to get away. Does turn around to try and do the hook. Maybe get a little more damage. No, it looks like a canceled auto. Phobos is going to be the one to pick that one up.
No, it's not able to box with the hook. Saucy is looking for these dredge lines, but not able to find them. And that was really well played by the Entourage to just run around Heiko from the big rock and just take him out. And then after that, Nihilus doesn't really have much firepower to deal with, so just slowly wilted him away.
Oh, we do still have the engage on the top side. Hecarim coming in again, trying to push him back. Brissy is going to just walk away. Does have the durability to survive underneath this turret. Now the turret's doing his damage for him. He does still have the health available. Does pop the shield. Oh my goodness, look at that health bar. Phobos is around the back. I don't think there's anything Brissy can do. Maybe turn a kill around? No, Phobos is going to pick that one up, but Neversaw is in the back line. Assault and Battery is available. Gets charmed up. Can he find the opening he needs? The Q comes through. The Assault and Battery does land. Picks up Soulpan, but doesn't have enough to face off the other two. Injustice going to pick that one up. Meanwhile, in the bot lane, Dredge line pops out. Bullet Time actually ends up getting stopped. Great block there with that, with the Typhoon. Saucy is going to be forced to back away, take a huge bunch of damage from this Varus. Going to back away. Nobody amazingly dies in the bot lane.
was a nice little exchange there. Saucy found the first dredge line that was probably important that we've seen at least, and Janna just had the answer immediately. Level 6, able to tornado him back.
Goodness, it doesn't stop. Gawr is forced to back away, trying to steal from the jungle. Not even able to turn that around because the bot lane just moves up to protect. They're going to go ahead and give that over to their own jungler. For those of you watching at home, just as a reminder, this is the Summit Esports Premier League Season 3. We've got Elend's Entourage versus Gawr's Kindergarten in Game 3. I am Joan, and this is Connor. We are still here, casting all of the action. We continue on. We do have the engagement here. Shutdown for the Nocturne, finally starting to turn some things around. Unfortunately, they are going to end up giving away the dragon for that in exchange. Teleport being used up into the top lane.
Right after getting that dragon too.
Sarah is informing me that Lizo got renamed to Cease and Desist. Did it really? Did it really? Yes, it did. Okay. You know, to be fair, there was a bunch of stuff with cops going on in the media. So, probably trying to give her a little bit of a better look, even if she is kind of a... Anyway, cool, so Cease and Desist. I'll remember that for the future as we see Sultan going in. They do flash over the wall, so Saucy is able to get out alive. Gonna be forced to back away. There is still that red ward sitting out there, so Gawr has been seen in the area. Probably not going to make a big committal after that.
I'm not quite sure what they're prepping here. They're just trying to clear out some wards right now. Not really much action going out. Hecarim up in the top side. Looks like they might be... There's still any action to prep for the Rift Herald right now. Bot tower is going to go down for the blue team. That's good for them. 2 towers up now. They are up almost, no, they're up just about 1,000 and some change. Nice little lead.
Nice little lead indeed. Ornn using the Unstoppable to avoid getting pulled in there. It's one of the fun little interactions you get in that lane. Looks like they are going to go for this Rift Herald. Not exactly a whole lot to challenge them on it either. So Shelly going to go ahead and head over to the red side. Entourage happy to pick that up.
Nothing was going on there. Just like, okay, it's free to take. This whole Rift side's just been pretty much free for...
Gawr,
no.
in a bad place. Does activate the paranoia and pick up a kill off of it. Boba's going to get caught out huge. All of the Porch God trying to go through the team, but Heiko takes out Usurper with the bullet time. Tons of damage coming out. Sulpan charges back in, trying to turn things around, but doesn't have the damage. Never saw it's going to take Sulpan out. The chase is on. Array is still here and taking damage. He's caught in the shadow realm with this Mordekaiser. Probably not going to come back out. Brissy's going to take Array down. Just Injustice left. Cannot follow up on the Heiko. Q over the wall. Double kill for this Mordekaiser. And that is going to put them in a great position. Almost an ace if the Donna hadn't come back.
Heiko just got completely ignored there. And I'm not... At first, so right after the ulti, it was pretty hard to get onto Heiko. But right after the ulti, I think it was Hecarim that tried diving on. And at first it looked like that they were going to go down, but Heiko was able to get away and pretty much free auto the rest of the team there. And it was super big for them.
Usurper going in big. Heiko doesn't have any mana. Is really, really low.
No. Oh, the 80 carry! The support!
Supportal combat for the win. Jenna is going to go ahead and take that. Great job on capitalizing on knowing where that 80 carry was and how much health they had remaining.
Jenna said, "This is my time to shine, baby. What do you know about an 80 carry? I don't need none of that right now." That was crazy. Well played.
Well played indeed. We do see Never Saw here. Let's move down to the bottom side of the map. Red Rift Herald has been summoned in the mid lane as this is going on. Is going to get a good charge here onto this mid lane turret. Looks like it is going to go down, so they're not going to fully take it. No plates to take either.
Now we have a 1v1 situation with Saucy, but the health bar is not low at all. In fact, it is full health, so I don't know if there's much Saucy can do. Waiting for the AD carry to get back.
Looks looks like Injustice has gone ahead and completed. Gosh, it's not the Sunfire Cape, it's the new magic resistance item. Still really good. What is that? Hollow Radiance? Hollow Radiance. Hollow Radiance. Cool. I need to memorize all of these new things. It is the new season. There's a ton of new items. And poor Glovely is a little overwhelmed. Speaking of overwhelmed, we do see the attempted body slam on the backside. Great dredge line to block that off. They are able to block the rest of the follow-up thanks to a great tornado from Janna, and both teams disengage from the fight.
Clean disengage. No teams really want to fight right now. They need as much firepower as they're dealing with, and it looks like everybody's pretty scattered across the map. No one really wants to get caught out right now because this is a really important pivot point for the game. Both teams are fairly even in gold. We actually have about 2K up right now for the Ooh.
They do end up letting their mid laner get caught out, and that dragon just came up. We do see Paranoia come out from the Nocturne, trying to blind everybody. Great dredge line for the root. They don't use the Paranoia to actually engage on anybody. They're just going to pick up that dragon using that vision denial to help them make it a little bit easier as they charge in. Sultan trying to come in from the back line. Janna activates the Monsoon for the healing. Take out Saucy. Ray gets that one for himself. Sultan's health bar really low, but there is a Mordekaiser in the back line cutting people off. Looks like Brissy's going to get away. Sultan will take out that jungler. They do pick up the dragon themselves and probably going to pick up Brissy. Does flash over the wall, so will probably survive for now.
That was looking like a really good fight there for the kindergartners, and MF was having a good ulti by MF, but as soon as she was free autoing, Ari just came around the corners and was able to solo kill the MF just out of nowhere. No contestant, and from there on out, it was Entourage who was able to take that fight, take the dragon, and they are shifting this momentum towards the Baron and possibly going to take that too. There's no vision right now.
I mean, speaking of no contest, they don't have any control of this area. They aren't taking it very quickly. Vi tries to go in, does get charmed up. Cease and desist is not going to be available. Silpan on a killing spree now. They're just going to go ahead and pick up this Baron. There's not really much answer to it. No, they're going to use the Onslaught of Shadows to try and engage. Red team takes Baron now for Paranoia into the backline. Nocturne trying to find a kill. Shutdown. They finally do take down the Hecarim. Usurper's going to take out Gawr. And this... Oh, I feel so bad for the Nocturne. He just wants to assassinate that backline, but they are not making themselves available.
The miss on that Varus ulti. It's too bad. You know, that was a really good idea coming out from blue team. Oh, here it still doesn't stop right now. They're still going in.
Now it looks like they're trying to find their opening. Injustice being this huge VP frontline, huge knockup. They're going to get caught in the bullet time, so Array is cut off from the rest of the team. Injustice is tanking up so much damage. This is such a beefy frontliner. 4-2 and 9 on this Ornn. They are going to retreat. They're not going to continue following up, but they do have the Baron buff so they can continue to pressure the map. We do see Neversaw in the mid lane going in on Phobos. Does manage to connect with the Vault.
Oh my god!
Look at that damage!
Hit him with the 1-2. That was clean.
Oh my goodness. Usually you're supposed to lead with the jab into the straight, but Vi kind of leads the straight into the straight, into the straight, into the... Oh no, Sultan coming in from behind uses the... uses the smite to stop the back. Is not going to be able to pick up Saucy. Dredge line does not connect either. It's just going to shove that in. Paranoia comes through. He's nearsighted. Forced to use the Onslaught of Shadows to escape. Sultan is going to get out with his life.
Try to make something fancy happen there.
Quick replay here. Watch this.
Boom, boom.
3 hits. Just, oh my goodness. This is who is the Riot dev who loves the 3-hit passes, because that seems like his kind of jam here. Certainly T, thank you. Usurper is gonna get caught in the back line, gonna get shut down as this fight breaks out. They're also gonna catch out Saucy. Injustice is gonna be the one to pick that one up. Gawr is going to be the next to fall. Unfortunately, the team is split up and scattered. Sulpan takes out Neversaw, and it's just Brissy trying to escape with his life against 3. Does manage to dodge the charm. The rest is going to be too much. Call the Force Child over the wall, walks into it, shut down for the Ornn.
We've got Sniper Ornn! Oh my goodness. It's not
over. Here comes Sulpan trying to go in. He can't follow up on it. Heiko's going to end up using that cleanse to get out of the charm. It's just the misfortune against 4. I don't think there's much you can do here. You might be able to clear the waves with the bullet time.
And the Entourage just taking everything that they can right now. It is looking huge for them. With that Baron buff, they are looking unstoppable right now.
Now, credit where credit is due, that Baron buff is going to be wearing off shortly if it hasn't already, and that means that they didn't actually take a whole lot of towers and plates with it. Like, we look across the map, at most they picked up the middle turret, they picked up a few kills, yes, but there wasn't a ton of objective progress. Now we can see that Dragon is going to be coming up here soon. It is going to be the Chemtech Drake here out on the Rift. We already saw that third one being taken, so I guess that's not too much of a surprise, but we haven't mentioned anything about it yet. Here's the team start setting up wards around the area. Injustice maybe going to get caught out here, pulled back into a 2 versus 1. He's so tanky, so hard to get through a champion with that much health. Look, he's just walking away. They're going to chase him under. Shutdown does end up going over to the Vi. The Vault Breaker is, or part of the Denting Blows passive, is going to do enough to chew through that horn. But in the meantime, Phobos here on the back line takes a huge chunk of damage, but it doesn't matter. Just warning them off to access the dragon. That's going to be another dragon over to Entourage. And I need to breathe.
Red team just taking some blows right now, but I think it was very necessary for them to get that dragon. You had Injustice up there. It felt like watching someone walk through like a blizzard, just like really treading, just slowly, just trying to make it through. But unfortunately, the blizzard took over and took the life as well. Mordekaiser and Vi were definitely getting that kill, and were making sure of it, even if they had a tower dive. But thankfully, they didn't need to. Unfortunately, Red team, for them, got the dragon, and now they're going to look to just continue snowballing this lead.
I mean, again, we look at the gold lead, and it's barely even a lead at all here for the kindergartners.
That's crazy.
Both teams roughly equal.
It was just 2K a second ago, but it looks like that tower was just enough to put them back to right where they are and even it up.
I mean, it just goes to show that it's not all about the kills. Even with 24 kills, 3 dragons, and a tower, like, so much of the gold is coming out of the tower gold. It's coming out of the fact that they're just CSing generally better across most positions. Kindergartners, like, they might be kindergartners, but they are pulling out their fundamentals here. They are teaching a lesson here.
They're trying to keep their momentum up right now too with all these objectives. Oh my goodness.
It's dangerous. Does use the cease and desist into the back lane with Paranoia to back him up. Huge bullet time shreds the members of the team. Is it going to end up getting caught out? Bounced around in a bounce house, not able to follow up. You managed to pull a kill over. Going to pick up some eliminations here. Shutdowns across the board. It's just Injustice left alive. The Nocturne is going to back up to heal up a bit off of these minions as they slowly, painfully try to wear down this Ornn. He's not getting away.
Ornn's back in the blizzard, just trying to shred his way out. Can he do it? He does not look like it. And we have an ace from the kindergartners now, and they are now going to go for the Baron. I don't know if they're going to be able to do this. Hopefully they can just get some wards and call it out. I would really not want them to try to attempt a Nautilus Mordekaiser Baron.
Look at his misfortune, how much he just got bumped around. Like, yeah, you got the full bullet time off, but you didn't have the ability to follow up with that. It's just slowly chewing out other members, forcing them away from your primary carries until it's just the tank left. And unfortunately, Ornn does not have the 1v9 potential necessary, or even the 1v3 potential that would have turned it around.
No, like Nocturne was able to slither away too, so that was a really good fight for the blue side right there. Not able to they're able to put some wards on the Baron too, so they're gonna get ready for this next fight. If they can make another ace happen, then that would be the game for them. Oh my goodness, we got some picks.
Cease and desist comes down. Neversaw's gonna pick up a Ray. They're gonna trade it back as Silpen picks up Neversaw, but Gawr in a dangerous position. Forced retreat will just barely survive with his life. Teleport is coming in. It's coming from behind. Oh no, Heiko could be in danger. Phobos is going to pick up an elimination there. They do manage to dodge out the charm, but get the knockup on the side. Heiko barely missing that line is going to get brought down by Silpen. This is devastating as the retreat is unsuccessful. It's only Brissy left alive against 3. This is a Mordekaiser, so if any champion on their team could do it, it would be him. But it doesn't look like he's going to be able to do much to answer this. Looks like they're just going to go ahead and turn for the Baron. Do they have the damage to do this? They only have Hecarim, Janna, and Ornn. Not exactly the huge damage dealers you would like to have for treading it down, but I guess if you're uncontested.
Oh, if they do this, it's going to be cutting it close. Brissy's going to look to scout it out right now. I also have to give preps to that Ornn for that teleport. That was so massive with the Vi down and the MF being the only big
Speaking
threat.
of the Ornn, Call of the Forge God, knocking him up. Brissy gets shut down. They did have to back off of the Baron for a little bit, so they did lose a little time. But in exchange, the Vi is here trying to look for an opening. Teleport comes in, so Phobos is now on the roof. They are just going to go ahead and grab that Baron. Not a whole lot you could do when you've already lost one of your members trying to contest this. And Dragon's up soon.
Yeah, that's Baron number 2 now, and that is looking pretty good for the Entourage. Now going back to them too. It's back to the gold. That's 1K up now, and we have another 100K gold game. Everybody is rich.
The fact that it's only a 1K gold lead is absolutely insane to me.
I know.
So much of the gold value is coming out of just picking up the towers, picking up the dragon. And now it looks like things are going to start narrowing down into each other around this dragon. This is going to be the big fight that could decide it all, but it looks like someone's been caught out on the backside. Neversaw tries to go in with a cease and desist. Injustice is going to be the one to pick up the kill. They now go in, the charm catch it, Usurper catches it, bullet time is going to be cancelled out early. Phobos takes out Tycho as Gage comes in, that's a double kill. They're going to have the Janna retreat. It's just down to Brissy against 2. This Varus is going to do way too much damage. It's forced away. Soulpan doesn't decide to commit, probably for the best. Does manage to dodge several crucial abilities.
He's going in.
He's going for it. He's got the damage. He's got the speed. He's got the ace.
That's the ace, and with everybody down on the kindergartner side and everybody up for the Entourage, that could potentially be the game right there.
I mean, hey, there's a lot of sort of invisible gold value that you can see on the side of the Entourage.
Oh no, they're gonna back up.
I mean, you see most of their team has the ornaments at this point. They are starting, so there's the gold value from those stats. There's the gold value from the fact that they just picked up a Dragon Soul, a Hex or Chemtech Soul. They're going to have that advantage for them as well.
Didn't decide to end the game, so there's a chance for the kindergartners now. I think it probably would have come to an ugly skirmish, so that was smart for the Entourage to back off right there. They didn't want to. They want to make this a clean game with the soul and all their buffs that they have right now.
I mean, if you're this far ahead, why rush it, right? Take your time, take it slow, make sure that you're doing it right. You gotta force the other team to get desperate and make poor decisions. That's the best way to stall a team out in the late game. And right now, they have an inhibitor down, they have pressure on the base, they have a Dragon Soul, they have Baron buff. There's a lot of things in their favor that they've accrued just by being patient and taking the fights they wanted to take.
They took all that, and now they're only at a 5K gold lead. It's crazy how all those towers really did help them out, but now everything is turned against the kindergartners, and they are going to be looking for a miracle if they're going to want to make something happen. The Chemtech Soul, that is going to be so fat. Damage reduction and damage amplified below that health.
Neversaw has a ton of that, that is a full lethality build on that Vi, so that's why the damage is so absurdly high. But unfortunately is very vulnerable, doesn't have a lot of tank stats as a result of not being more of that bruiser build that we usually see on Vi. Used up the Vault Breaker, so doesn't have it for Soulpan when he walks in the bush. There he goes, gets it back off. Soulpan not able to follow. Just be forced to back off at half health. Neversaw, she's not quite able to follow up there. Looks like they're just going to camp around the area, take their time with it. They do have that Baron buff. It is kind of ticking down. Looks like it is going to run out. So no more Baron buff, but you do still have the Dragon Soul. You do still have your entire team here in the area. You do still have most of your ultimates available.
Oh, the flash.
Good flash, good root. Array's going to pick up Never Saw, and that's your assassin down. They do commit the bullet time, which almost picks up Phobos. Is going to be able to get out with his life. Forced to back away with the cleanse. Justice is just going to walk up and go ahead and proc that demolish. Get as much damage as they can down onto this tower. Look at him, he's barely taking any damage. This Ornn is so tanky. 8, 4, and 16 now on this front line. Like, yeah, he has died, but only when literally everyone else on his team is taken down. Because he's just that beefy with all these resistances. Now pushing into the base. Inhibitor up. It is going to be 4 versus 4 here. We do see the Ahri teleporting in. Going to make it 5 versus 4. Waiting on that respawn time. And it looks like they're going to back away now that the teleporter's been committed.
That's smart. And so that was... What's interesting is Varus... being the least mobile champion probably in this game, committed their flash immediately off the start of that fight and was able to catch off the Vi. And that was super smart because the Kindergartner's only hope right now in this game is to have a big pick with Vi and or the MF ulti. And as soon as both of those resources were down, you noticed everyone from the blue team back off right there, and that was just an easy inhib for the Entourage. So props to Array right there for that awareness to notice that as soon as the Vi is gone, then that is the next thing to look out for is the MF ulti. And they were grouped, and it was a pretty solid MF ulti. And for those out there playing MF and playing against MF, you know that she's incredibly strong. So as soon as that was down, then it was just...
You have the engage. Brisky in a bad spot. Does manage to dodge knock up. Here comes the paranoia. Who is it targeting? It's going to go into the back line. Sopan is unstoppable. Does take out the Mordekaiser. That's a huge source of damage. It's no longer available. Onslaught of Shadows goes into Haika, who's not able to continue. Flashes away. Just getting run down by Sopan. Does not have the heal, even with the season decision. Gonna take him out. Sopan is dominating now. Gonna pick up Saucy. Never saw. Oh no, getting chased down by the Janna.
Oh, we're gonna see this again. Oh my god.
Be able to turn it around. That's half a health bar.
Janna's not afraid.
And an auto.
No way Janna chases down this fight right now.
Oh no, Janna's trying. Because every moment that Never Saw spends in retreat, Usurper gets to spend keeping him away from base.
Oh wow.
Shut down there, Usurper. In a dangerous spot, is probably going to get down here. Never Saw.
Oh my god! You don't believe it! No way! The Janna takes out the flag! This Janna is absolutely wild! What the...
And while all of that is happening, is Inhibitor goes down, they cracked open the base even further. So, all things considered, oh my goodness, breathe over there, man, breathe. The supportal combat is excellent. That one is definitely going in the clip reel. Great play by Usurper to take down the Vi in the 1v1.
All right. Give the champion trophy to this Janna right now. Just put him in the LCS. That was crazy. That was the nuttiest thing I've ever seen.
That is not how that works, but I did in fact love it. It's not every day that the enchanters get to make the big plays. We do have the Elder Dragon on the Rift, and these teams are circling around it like sharks ready for the feast. Looks like Entourage has the advantage currently. They are in position around this dragon. Trying to find an opening. It looks like there's not really an answer from the Kindergartners. Vi is back at base, and everyone else seems to be pretty split.
Oh man, that... Oh, wow. If this Elder, whoever gets it, that's the nail in the coffin.
Oh, Paranoia! Doesn't get it. That's going to be the Elder Drake. Almost gets a kill on the backside. Sopan goes over the wall. Takes a ton of damage, but is able to survive through the beefy tanks. That double kill for the Varus. Triple kill for the Varus. Quadra kill for the Varus. And that's probably going to be the game. Shut down onto Sopan. Not quite enough for the Penta, but that is going to be the ace. And most likely the game to Entourage in a 2-1 series. What an impressive final game.
Wow, that was a super well played game by both teams. That Janet play at the end, though. I'm still in shambles after that. But I gotta say, I really like where the kindergartners were going with their team comp. And a couple of times you pointed out how the gold lead was even with the dragon lead and the kill lead, a massive one too. You had 3 dragons to 1 and a whole bunch of kills, like 10 plus kills ahead going out to the Entourage. But at one point there was still like even the kindergartners were up on gold. And they had a couple big threats on their team. You had Mordekaiser, Nocturne, Vi, and an MF with a Nautilus just perma-ceasing you to the face at all times. But it just wasn't able to work out. I think them with their big skirmish team and not able to win the skirmishes was the big downfall, but they had the objectives sealed. They were nailed solid about those mid-game. Okay. But Entourage able to take it out at the end there was super big, getting those big objectives and those big plays. Varus and Tekrim getting it out there. Well played to them and sealing that series.
Well, now that we have gone ahead and wrapped up that game, this very close series, that was fantastic to watch as a spectator. But that is going to be the end of our show for tonight. I am Joan, joined by Connor, here to tell the story at Summit Esports Premier League in our 3rd season. We hope to see you in the next game.
Joe said that I'm the best in the West. I got the girls singing, damn, look at how he dressed. No need to guess, just bless my finesse. I keep him in a mess, all up in this caress. Jeans, fitted, shirt, knitted. Man, she need to quit it, she already did it. She gotta be Latina cause she look mixed with it. She all up on me, so I guess she gonna get it. I look good, I look good, I look exactly the